for you. And Pioneer Pure Vision plasma displays. The purest color, the purest experience.
Into the corner, and if that's the case, he will get past eventually.
Matt, how about Tony Stewart?
BP during the final practice session, Tony was complaining about a beep on his radio, but no one else on the team heard it. Under the last caution, he said to his spotter, Mark Robertson, if this radio goes out again, what are the signals for tight and loose? Mark said, hit the roof if it's tight, hit the door if it's loose.
Yeah, but you can't do that anymore. It's hard to get your hand on the roof and on the door. I guess you could put your fingers on the door, but the way these seats are, it's not like, you know, you could put your arm out the door or out the window.
A little contact there between the 31 and 20. And we know there's not a lot of glove loss there, so you know that 31 car, Robbie Gordon wants to get by that 20 as bad as any car on the racetrack.
It's going to be for 13th place.
And there's Junior, the 8 car. Different paint job this weekend as he tries to work his way towards the front. What's Junior saying, Dave?
Well, Benny, does this car look any different than the car that started out this weekend? It had a red nose when it started here, and there was a little mix-up in what the paint scheme was supposed to be this weekend. So it was supposed to be this World Series scheme, and the guys worked for 3 hours last night after happy hour. The only thing that remained from the original colors was the 8, and they changed all the graphics on this car for the World Series scheme tonight.
We're on board, Dale Jr. And you see how rough this place is. Watch Robbie's car right there in front. He slides up the racetrack. That's what happens. The cars, when they hit the bumps, they just four-wheel slide up the track. Opens the door for Dale Jr.
Attention on newcomers Miami and Virginia Tech. The Seminoles might not have seen the Cavaliers coming. Well, Florida State comes face to face with an old foe that's found new life. There's a lesson to be learned here. An old adage about life at the top. That's where you've been for years on end, with no end to your reign in sight. When suddenly, from the East, the Big East that is, came the 2 biggest threats to your throne. Their power, a matter of record. Their pride, on a par with your own. But while keeping your eye on the newcomers, you may have forgotten a familiar foe. One that's been rising through the ranks while singing victory songs. Tonight, the contender you must deal with has been right there all along. Welcome to ESPN's College Football. Tonight, the 6th-ranked Virginia Cavaliers take on the 7th-ranked Seminoles of Florida State. All season, ESPN Saturday Night College Football will be broadcast in high definition, presented by Phillips and Best Buy. Here are the ACC standings, and the reason for the importance of this one: Virginia on top 2-0, as well as Miami 5-0 each as far as the regular season. Florida State 2-1 in conference play. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried. You know, Virginia not only likes to run the football, they're very good at it. 275 yards per game. But Florida State stops the opposition, averaging only 65 yards rushing against them. Mike Gottfried, something's got to give here tonight.
Well, it really does. But Virginia's going to run the football. They're going to continue to run the ball. They have to survive this crowd and the Florida State defense early in this football game. Get to the 4th quarter. They can win this game.
Let's go down to the sideline and visit with the 3rd member of our broadcast team. Here's Erin Andrews. Erin?
Well, Ron, it's been a busy week for Virginia head coach Al Groh. Not only has he spent the week preparing for tonight's game, but Monday was his 35th wedding anniversary. He was unable to spend it with his wife, Ann, because he was working all day. But on Monday night, during his radio show, he got a message from a first-time caller. It was his wife, Ann. She said, "Happy anniversary. Tonight, I'm giving you a free pass. Please spend it with your coaching staff and find a way to beat Florida State on Saturday night." Ron, we just found out Ann Groh unable to attend tonight's game. She's suffering from the flu. We know she's watching it from home, and we want to wish her well. Ron?
Yep, we do. There's a look at her husband, Al Groh. You see in his 4th season his numbers 27 and 17, an 8-game winning streak. His team won the toss, but they have referred to the second half. And of course, that is a very familiar face. 29th season as the Florida State head coach. 346 career wins, the most all-time of anybody in coaching in Division I. The series history. Florida State leads it 11-1, an average margin of victories over 19 points. And for Virginia, their only win. It was the first time that the Seminoles had been knocked off of the Atlantic Coast Conference.
And if you're Al Groh, you like this to kick off, play defense against the young quarterback Wyatt Sexton.
Wyatt Sexton getting an opportunity. Chris Ricks with the injury. And Mikey has stepped in very, very well.
Really does, and the team believes in him.
Good look at number 3, Leon Washington, as Kurt Smith will kick it off for the Cavaliers. Also, Antonio Cromartie, you see his average over 20 yards per return. The Cavaliers on both kickoffs and also on kick return and on punt return, extremely good in special teams. Here's the kick by Smith. It's going to come down a yard deep in the end zone. It'll be returned by Cromartie. Comes to the near sideline at the 15, and he will not make the 15 as a knee went down. And it gives us an opportunity to talk about the young quarterback who's from right here in Tallahassee because his dad is on the coaching staff, Wyatt Sexton.
He started 2 games. He's played in 4. Very accurate passer. Has to take the short passes tonight.
And I was interested in Bobby Bowden's comments. He said that the young man has been far superior to even what he thought he could do in his first 2 outings.
And the crowd loves him.
Leon Washington is the tailback as they scrimmage for the 15-yard line. B.J. Dean, the fullback, swings the pass out. This is Washington. Turns it up at the 20-yard line. Going to be a gain of about 8 yards in the play, and Jermaine Hardy makes the tackle. Here are the rest of the starters on offense for the Noles. Washington and B.J. Dean. Paul Irons, the tight end, primarily a blocker. And the wide receivers, Stovall and Thorpe. We will see a total of about 6 on the outside tonight, though. Outstanding offensive line, particularly Alex Barron at left tackle. The pros think that he may be one of the first 5 choices in next year's draft. Washington not going to have the first down. Good defense as he gets pinched in on Ahmad Brooks, one of the first men there to make the hit. Defensively, they run from a 3-4. Schmidt, Hoffman, and Robinson. The linebackers, outstanding. Haley, Parham, Brooks, and Blackstock. Blackstock, an outstanding pass register. And in the secondary, it's Hamilton and Franklin at the corners, Jermaine Hardy and Marcus Weeks at the safeties. Third down, Florida State. They need about 1.5 yards. As you look into the eyes of Ahmad Brooks, number 34, the outstanding sophomore. Pass out in the flat. That ball was tipped, I believe. B.J. Dean was the man that the pass was intended for, and it's 4th down, Florida State.
And Ron, that's the way Al Groh wanted to start this football game, on defense. He knows he's got a young quarterback in Wyatt Sexton. Now his offense is going to get pretty good field position to start running the football.
Dennis Haley was the man applying the pressure as Hall comes on to punt. He may have either distracted the receiver and quarterback, or he may have gotten a piece of it. Pierman is the deep man. Here's Hall's boot. Driving spiral. Pierman all the way back to the 19-yard line. And boy, he flips the field on that punt right there. Virginia could have gotten good field position, but that is a 58-yard boot and nothing on the return. Talk about the quarterback for the Cavaliers.
Ron, he's the key. If they're going to win this football game, Marcus Hagans has got to have a good game, because this Florida State defense doesn't give up much in the running game, but this is where Marcus Hagans can become a running back and quarterback, but he's also a very good thrower.
Boy, he's played a little bit of everything, waiting for his turn, so to speak, at Virginia. Wide receiver, that's how he came in. Then he was a punt returner. Now they move him to quarterback. Extreme quickness. Play action on first down. Blitz up the middle. Going to go long at the near sideline. Has a man, and it's caught, and that's Pearman out of the backfield all the way to the 41-yard line. That's a gain of 41.
Not bad for a guy that 2 years ago played quarterback against FSU and was 1 for 7 for 4 yards. Great play call by Al Groh to start out this football game. Got Pearman out of the backfield.
Lundy just got enough of the blitzer to give him time to get the pass away. Crowd was up and cheering for the defense, and now they're up and trying to give them a little psychological boost as Virginia has come out and hit the Seminoles right in the mouth on the very first play. Hagans hands it to Lundy. Back into the boundary. Great defense hit by the ankles, Jerome Carter. And here are the starters on offense for the Cavaliers. Lundy and Brandon Isaiah. Heath Miller, many people say the best tight end in college football. McGrew and Deion Williams are the wide receivers. This is a really good offensive line as well. But the best of the group is Elton Brown there at right guard. The pros think that he will be a first-round choice in next year's draft. He, too, like the quarterback Marcus Hagans, is out of Hampton, Virginia. Good look right there at Big Elton, a senior, 6'6", 338 pounds. Hagans sets in the pocket, drills it out to the far sideline, got it complete. Heath Miller. Miller last year led the nation with a total of 70 catches, and he's off to a great start this year. That's number 15. Davis, Johnson, Buntley, and Wembley, the down four. The linebackers, an outstanding group here. Sims, Davis, and Nicholson. These two teams with the best two sets of linebackers, certainly in the ACC. McFadden and Smith on the outside. Had Watkins and Jerome Carter are the safeties. Third down, Mike. Third down, and that's only about a yard that they've got to pick up.
It's a big yard against this defense.
Two tight ends, Heath Miller and Tom Santi, the freshman out of Nashville. Going to go with the running play. And Lundy hit at the line of scrimmage, and now he's going to fight his way forward. And it appears he has the first down as Ernie Sims came from his linebacking position. And guess who? Big Elton was out there throwing the block, number 61.
They brought both tight ends to one side. You're going to see both tight ends block down, and Lundy get behind the offensive guard, Elton Brown, and get the first down.
Well, you could see Sims not only made the tackle, but he kind of runs over him right there. And then a lot of help from the remainder of the Seminoles on defense. You see the average 23.6 first downs per game. Well, that is the most in the ACC. Tied, actually, with the most with Wake Forest. From the 30. Hagans straight ahead, big opening. It's going to be a 5-yard carry by Wally Lundy, the junior out of Willingboro, New Jersey. And Mike, they just like to do this sort of thing right here. Aesthetically, a lot of fans say, well, there's nothing just exciting about this, but play defense and run the football.
If you can run the football
That's
around,
right.
You can play action pass, and they protect the football. They do not turn it over. They haven't so far this season.
We've got Jerome Carter, the Rover, already with 3 tackles in this ball game.
They have 2 turnovers in 5 ball games.
That's right. 1 an interception, the other a fumble. Lundy, little counter tray, breaks off a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and it's pounded down. It's going to be a third down, and they'll need about 2 yards for the first, as they need to take it to the 20. And let's take a look at the stats on Lundy. Boy, he has been quite a find for them.
10 rushing touchdowns, tied for first.
And Mike, look at his yards per reception, almost 20.
Good hands.
They set up the screen. Boy, Hagans almost fell down. Going to have to run the ball now. Runs out of harm's way, but he's going to lose yardage on the play. Jerome Carter is the man who forced him out.
They tried to hit Wally Lundy in the screen. He's going to set up right over here for the screen, but Florida State is right on it, and Hagans was stumbling, so he did the best thing to do, run the football.
What did you see? Clifton Dixon, number 97. He read it immediately and retreated. Connor Hughes is going to attempt a field goal for the near hash mark. It's an attempt of 42 yards. He's 6 of 9 this year. Good pass, plenty of distance. And he's no good. He missed it. catch our breath for a moment. Take a timeout. 10:32 left in his opening quarter. And you see, very close, but it's wide left.
Chief for Jeff Gordon actually on the radio talking about explaining to Jeff what happened to Brian Vickers. Robbie, how about your car? You were involved in that caution on lap 1.
Yeah, the DuPont Chevrolet, we got pretty fortunate down there, and I guess Biffle, somebody lost it in the crowd there. But the guys got it fixed up. The DuPont race team doing a great job, and right now our biggest concern's been temperature and making sure it doesn't run hot.
So the nose, you think it's going to be okay?
Yeah, it looks like we got that fixed up real well, and the guys got the back end fixed up. You know, somebody got in the back of us back there, and they all stacked up down there. So we just need some track position. I think the DuPont Chevrolet is running pretty well.
Okay, we'll be watching. We were both listening to Jeff, who was talking on the radio while we were doing that.
Bill, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew this weekend didn't spend.
Perfect.
He's that dimension of this. High spiraling kick.
Here it gets
open right here on the crossing route. I'm sorry. Taylor Stubblefield is going to come wide open on this crossing route right now. And right now you see Stubblefield on the scramble drill turn up field. They had an opportunity, Mark, to get a big one right there.
Pack everything in. Saturn. People first.
Get a new 2004 Saturn Vue with 0% APR financing or $37.50 toward your down payment. See your retailer for details.
If you want to do something with your life and want to stand up tall and really be known for something, the first place it starts is with you and your heart. So get up, go out and make something happen and make the right choice and go vote. If you can vote, you need to be voting.
All right, Tommy. It's incredible.
After Brian Vickers slapped the safer barrier hard just shy of the start-finish line. He's okay, making repairs to the retaining wall.
According to script, if you're the head coach. Got the stop on defense, completed the long pass on first down, and then a missed opportunity for a field goal. Booker comes in at tailback. He gets the handoff. Big play guy has 10, has 15, runs back into the middle of the field. That's going to be a gain of 20 yards for Lorenzo Booker on his very first play from scrimmage tonight.
Ron, a change up at tailback because Lorenzo Booker, when he comes in the football game, you see him a sky cam, the good opening right there and the good cutback in the secondary by Booker.
That was Alex Barron who was leading the way with the ceiling block and getting it up the middle. Play action. Sexton running, now gets that pass away. That's to the fullback Coleman. And right now it gives us an opportunity to look at the game plan for tonight's game. Mike?
Run offensively, stay with the run. Leon Washington has to touch the ball 30-plus times. Take the short passes in too deep. And on defense, force and win the turnover battle. We talked about Virginia protects the ball. Stop the run, make Marcus Hagans beat you with his arm.
Dominic Robinson, number 21, checks into the game at wide receiver. He's to the top of your screen. Pitch back to Booker, nothing to the left. Great job defense by Virginia. And leading the way, number 34, Ahmad Brooks, is the man who fouled up everything. Schmidt came over to help out as well.
Ron, only a sophomore. He returned kickoffs in the first game of the year. That's how good an athlete Ahmad Brooks is.
Like I told you last year, the person he reminds me most of as a young player was a young fellow by the name of Robert Brazil, who played for Jackson State and went on to be an all-star with the Houston Oilers. 6'4", 245, and can run like the wind. Sexton looking, now throws the swing pass, dropped by Lorenzo Booker. He was looking at a defensive back that was coming up very quickly in his face and did not hold on to the football. So the stats on Wyatt Sexton: 2-0 as a starter, 63% completion. It's not going that way so far tonight, but like that last pass was not his fault. He hit the receiver right in the hands. Second punt of the night by Chris Hall. His last one was a boomer, 58 yards. This spiral is not going to turn over. And it's allowed to hit the ground. Mistake right here. That thing is going to go out of bounds. Going to be touchdown at the 10-yard line. But tonight at midnight, join ESPN for Game 2 of the NBA preseason in the Eastern Hemisphere. Returning home, Yao Ming and his new teammate Tracy McGrady lead the Houston Rockets against Chris Webber and the Sacramento Kings live from Shanghai, China. The NBA preseason on ESPN tonight at midnight Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Leroy Washington sitting on the bench. He started the ball game, and then on that last series we had an opportunity to see Lorenzo Booker at tailback. Booker had a gain of 20 on his first carry, and then things didn't go quite so well for him. Virginia takes it over. They've given him the ball at the 11-yard line. Lundy back into the boundary. Flag comes down. That could be offensive holding. Travis Johnson is the man who's there to make the tackle. Holding against Virginia. Mike, let's take a look at the game plans as far as Virginia is concerned.
Ron, stay patient with the run. Stay on the run. Survive early. Get to the fourth quarter in a close football game. With this crowd, you got to survive early. Make Florida State work on defense. No long touchdowns. That's what they're used to getting. Stop Leon Washington.
Mike, the player who is down is Travis Johnson, the outstanding defensive tackle. In fact, we visited with him yesterday, and he was looking so forward to his meeting with Elton Brown. And he might have had his bell rung there, because you can see he is sitting up now and is talking to the trainers. Al Groh is visiting with the side judge and is giving him what for. I don't know if it's over the call. We never got a number on who the hold was against, but Al is very emphatic in making his point. Good hand for Johnson. It appears as though he will be back.
Might be on Elton Brown, number 61, who Travis Johnson, as you said, was looking forward. There's the hold right here. Lunged at him. Elton Brown grabbed a hold of his ankle.
Well, Elton Brown sent a text message to Johnson right after Florida State's game up against Syracuse, and sent it through one of the wide receivers, and told him, I'm packing my lunch pail for next week. You go ahead and pack yours. And undoubtedly there, Rapunzel Thorpe is the one that he sent it to, but he got called for holding on that one. So it is second down at about 11. Hagans swings this one out. Lundy gets it back upfield as quickly as he can. Hagans, 70% completion, almost 10-yard average per play, 232-yard game a game, and that leads the ACC total offense.
Ron, he will run the football. If nothing's there in the passing game, he'll scoot.
Third down, they need to take it to the 21-yard line. Play action. Hagans out in space. Pressure is on. Drills the ball, overthrown. Chauncey Davis is a man who was all over it. Travis Johnson was back in the ball game, and he was applying pressure as well.
And that's what you have to do. Chauncey Davis, contain Marcus Hagans. Don't let him get outside. Make sure he's under duress when he throws the football.
So this is the first punt of the night for Virginia. And Mike, if you had to say there's anything that might come close to being a weak point for the Cavaliers, it's this portion of their game right here.
And Florida State very good at blocking punts.
Johnson waits for the snap. They're coming after him, and they got it. They block it out of the back of the end zone. Ernie Sims, number 34. Boy, that wasn't even close. He was all over.
Ernie Sims came from the outside on the left side of Florida State's defense, and they worked very hard on blocking kicks. We talked about Al Groh and his Virginia Cavaliers surviving early. The punt team lets the score board ring for FSU.
2-0. And as we had just mentioned, as you take another look at Sims, I mean, he almost had to slow down to get the block. 2-0 Seminoles. Will go away for a moment.
I'll reach over and click up that toggle. The only place in the world that ain't goes my way.
And you take 4 tires, how far back are you going to be? Here we go, Bill.
Jimmy Johnson has the very first pivot.
Spectacular. Weeknights only on FSN.
Get geared up for the Breeders' Cup.
Marcus Cassell, number 15, and Matt Clark, number 6, have been very active in run support. So don't be surprised if they try them before too much longer.
Well, here they go. Looking in the corner. Too high. Anthony Davis on the handoff, and Davis tackled immediately.
They set up in the eye on this, the last play of the game. And here's the snap. Hand off to the tailback. Peterson tries the right side. Wow, what a hit. But he stays on his feet, and he's broken to the outside, and it's wide open. Touchdown. Give him a touchdown.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Primetime. Brought to you by Saturn, People First, and Michelob Ultra. Lose the carbs, not the taste.
Beautiful look at the state capitol building here in Tallahassee, Florida. Gentle breeze blowing tonight. Very, very comfortable conditions. Temperature supposed to go into the 60s. Sims with the block kick. 2-0 is how we stand. Kurt Smith with the free kick, and they will do it off the tee. The 2 deep men are Cromartie and Washington for the Seminoles. And the Seminoles try to take advantage of the situation with the football following the block kick that was knocked out of the back of the end zone. High, but not very long. On the run is Washington. 30, 35, and he'll be tackled at the 41. And let's check in for the first time tonight with Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Ron, Taco Bell takes us to West Lafayette, Wisconsin, and Purdue, and finally that offense, a little boiler up. Kyle Orton, Charles Davis, the fingertip catch. It's the 7th time a team's gone into the red zone against that Badger D. Again, a touchdown, they're tied late in the 3rd.
Alrighty, heck of a ball game going on there, and we've got the same brewing right down here in Tallahassee, Florida, as we look at Wyatt Sexton. Leon Washington is coming to the ball game, and they throw the football to him, turns the corner, going to have 10 yards. Whoa, did he run over the defensive back, coming up to make the tackle.
Wyatt Sexton, they're going to, quarterbacks, since he's taken over, 63% completion. And Chris Ricks is ready to go if called on tonight, Ron. He's got an injured ankle. I don't know if he can take a hit on that ankle. Now, he can practice, but I worry about him getting hit.
Well, Coach Bowden mentioned a similar thing on Thursday afternoon at practice. They reverse. The ball is fumbled and picked up by Stovall. He is in a lot of trouble, and that play blew up back at the 50-yard line as the handoff was missed, and Marcus Weeks is the man who caused it to go a foul.
You were talking about the weather as we're going to watch this fumble right here. It's getting hot for Virginia over there. I talked about surviving early. Now they've already had a punt block. Now Florida State with great field position. Their defense has to stop them here.
Deep in the pocket, they set up a screen. They throw the ball right over the middle, and they've got it complete to Matt Henshaw. We didn't know if Matt was going to play tonight. He was one of 5 ankle injuries that the trainer and the training staff have been trying to take care of. One of the coaches said he looked in there on Thursday morning, and he said there were 5 right ankles propped up on the table, and they were all getting treatment.
His dad is a former football coach here at Florida State, now with the Tennessee Titans.
Lorenzo Booker checks into the backfield for the Seminoles on 3rd down. They need to take this ball to the 37-yard line. Sexton steps up, drills the ball, has it perfectly thrown at the 31 to Willie Reed. That's good for 12 yards, and the Seminoles will move the sticks. And Mike, one of the things that you got to be so careful of here, Virginia got to keep them out of the end zone right now.
Really do. Wyatt Sexton's doing what he has to do. Take the underneath throws. Willie Reed comes open after good pass protection by the offensive line.
5 of 7 for him for a total of 43 yards. As you see Booker dancing around and finally gets hit by Ahmad Brooks, and that's going to be the end of the way. The reason I make the statement, I mean, there's so much more football to play here tonight, but I'll tell you, Florida State in this building is as good a front runner as there is in college football.
And they've owned Virginia here.
Yeah.
I mean, they've demolished them when they came down here. But I talked about early in this football game, you need something good to happen to you if you're a Virginia football player.
Cavalier defense going to have to step up. It's a 2nd down and 10. Straight ahead with Washington. Boy, he gets banged down at the line of scrimmage. This time it's Andrew Hoffman, the senior out of South Reading, Virginia.
It's almost like a bully that's beat you up all the time. Then finally you got bigger and faster, and all of a sudden you go over to his house and you call him out and you say, now's the time. I'm going to whip you.
1995, they defeated Florida State. That, of course, was up in Charlottesville, 33-28. So it's 3rd down, and the Seminoles need to take it to the 20-yard line. Deep in the pocket. Here comes pressure. Now he's going to run it, and he will be well short of the 1st down. They're going to spot it down at around the 26-yard line. So this is going to be a field goal attempt of in the vicinity of 43 yards, which brings up, well, let's take a look at the replay first of all.
Yeah,
here.
Good pressure by Ahmad Brooks and Brennan Smith.
Also Hoffman, number 60, Mike, coming right up the middle. Sabied Bethia, and he has really been up and down this year. Out of Tampa Jesuit, it's a 43-yard attempt. Good pass, plenty of distance on this one. And Bethia, he hit the upright on the right.
You talk about the punt for Virginia, the field goal for Florida State's been an adventure.
Boy, I'll tell you, special teams, well, it has not been a great thing for either team tonight, with the exception of the block by the Seminoles. Let's take a timeout. 2-0.
The 12 car, fastest qualifier on Friday, on Thursday actually, has caught the 38. I thought he was going to pass him off turn 4. Said, nah, okay, I'll wait a lap or so.
You don't hear a lot of aero-tight stuff here, BP. You know that running here yourself. The cars like the free air, and you need all the air you can. Now, if you can get on the bottom of the 38 car, like he's trying right now, hopefully he can get enough downforce on the nose, but it's tough right there, side by side, off of turn 4, making a pass.
So we got one with an aero advantage, which is the leader, Elliott Sadler, but we got one with a tire advantage.
Right.
Because the Elliott Sadler only took right side tires on his stop.
Yep. Sensational effort downfield by Vernon Grant.
Because the coverage was there by Damian Hughes.
Well, they're going to measure to see if it was a 1st down.
New Red Zone Body Wash.
We're back under the lights at Ross-Ade Stadium, a sellout crowd of 65,190.
100, where you can view and pay your bill. Or use your computer, anywhere, anytime. Just log on to dishnetwork.com and go to My Account. No stamps required, no checks to write. It's safe and secure. Get the service you want when you want it with Dish Network.
WWE Taboo Tuesday, live Tuesday, October 19th on Dish On Demand pay-per-view.
Florida State on top 2-0. We made the comment just a few moments ago that Virginia had to keep the Seminoles out of the end zone. Well, they did, and then the miss of the field goal, so we still stand with the safety. And by the way, for trivia buffs, it's the first safety by FSU since 2002, and that came in the Virginia game here in Tallahassee. Alvin Pearman comes in at tailback for the Cavaliers. They will rotate a total of 3. Handoff to the left side. It's going to be short yardage for him as he'll be knocked down at around the 27 by Burston. Darrell Burston.
Hard to run against this FSU defense. They're so quick. They fly to the football. You got to stay on your blocks against these guys.
For Florida State, the rush defense we mentioned in the open, they give up only 65 yards a ball game. Rushing yardage for UVA so far in this opening quarter, a total of 8. We're about to go into 3 minutes to play. 2nd and 9, Pearman again, left side. Good blocking, but boy, he gets whacked hard with the linebacker, and he's hit by McGrew, a junior who is out of Crawfordville, Florida. And now it's going to be 3rd down for the Cavaliers. It'll be 3rd down and long.
See Alvin Pearman as he gets up into the line of scrimmage. There's nothing there for him. McGrew standing right there.
Mike, talk about this situation. One of the reasons that the Cavaliers have been so efficient and have not turned the ball over, they haven't had to play with many 3rd and longs, have they?
Behind the sticks. Now they're behind the sticks tonight, but this is where Marcus Hagen's got to be a threat, running and throwing.
Virginia 1 of 3 on 3rd down conversions tonight. They need to take it out to the 36-yard line. Wally Lundy comes in a tailback. Here comes a blitz off the corner. Pass right over the middle, but because of an outstanding open field tackle on Pearman, or Lundy, I should say, he is not going to pick up the 1st down.
Boy, good job by Pat Watkins, the safety. Marcus Hagen sitting up. Throws the ball to Pearman, but Watkins is right there to make the tackle, not allow him to get to the marker.
So let's see if Sean Johnson doesn't get this one off a little bit quicker this time. That last punt attempt, they only had 12 punts because the offense has been so good in their first ball games. Gets this one away nicely, and it is a hanging spiral. And it'll be returned for the 29. 35-40, Willie Reed. And again, the Seminoles are going to open with very good field position. 37 yards on the punt and 14 on the return.
One thing they have to do, Ron, they have to take advantage of the field position. Now, Virginia not getting anything going in the running game. Early in this football game, FSU has dictated where the field position is. Wyatt Sexton's got to take advantage of this.
Leon Washington comes back into the ball game at tailback, and the Seminoles go from their own 43. They lead it 2-0. Gives it to Washington. Runs back into the short side of the field. Hurdles one man at the 50-yard line, and he's close to another 1st down. Erin Andrews, let's check with you on the sideline.
Well, a very interesting story about Florida State quarterback Wyatt Sexton. Of course, his dad is running backs coach Billy Sexton, and I talked to head coach Bobby Bowden about how he handles that relationship, and they try to keep it very professional. He knows what it's like having a father-son tandem in the work environment. He said when Wyatt signed with Florida State, he told Wyatt, you go tell your father, we're going to handle this well. Also, we heard from offensive coordinator Jeff Bowden that Wyatt is fair game in practice. His dad will go after him, yell at him, but at the same time, he'll come up to Jeff Bowden and say, hey, he's your son now. You deal with him. Ron?
66 seconds left in this 3rd quarter, and they took a measurement, and the chains will move across the way as the Seminoles out quickly of the huddle.
Good thing for Wyatt Sexton, he's got Leon Washington.
No question about it, along with Lorenzo Booker. Both of those guys, they're different kind of backs. Booker is the slasher. Washington is more the pounder. Short drop this time. Look in pass. Whoa, that thing was almost picked off. Chauncey Stovall was the intended receiver, and Reese Davis. Let's check back with you.
Ron Miller takes us to Stillwater Boone-Pickens Stadium, where Texas A&M is putting it to Oklahoma State. Reggie McNeil going in for his second touchdown of the night. And Coach Fran's team up 20-0 in the second quarter on the Pokes.
I'll tell you what, disband the Aggies. And I mean, they got thumped by Utah in the first game of the year, but now everybody's finding out that's not an embarrassing thing. Utah is thumping everybody. Sexton, quick pass out in the flat, got that one complete to Robinson, and Robinson will be tackled immediately. That is a fine job. As you look at his father on the sideline, Billy Sexton. It's a fine job defensively by Marcus Weeks and also Marcus Hamilton out of the secondary.
Wyatt Sexton told us he has to be patient in this football game.
He's really a laid-back kind of kid,
he really is. I was going to fall asleep there, but he's a nice young man. He's just comfortable with being the quarterback. He's taking it all in stride.
He's 6 of 9 for 47 yards. Third down right here, and he needs to take it to the Virginia 37-yard line. Steps up, gets this one out in the flat, has it complete. That's going to be for very short yardage to Paul Irons, the tight end. And they will have a couple, but that's it. As Virginia said, we'll give you that completion in front of the sticks and in front of our linebackers, but we're not going to give it to you downfield.
Now, Paul Irons is a guy that played in high school as a guard. Incomplete pass, they're ruling it.
Okay, so that's the reason I kept looking up to see why the clock was not running out here to end the first quarter. But the clock is now stopped at 6 seconds. So Florida State will have to punt the ball away as Chris Hall comes on.
This is where Virginia's got to look for a fake now. Bobby Bowden's going to play the field position game.
Well, it is going to be a fake, and he throws it back to the open side of the field, and the tackle is going to be made. They will not get it. Big break for Virginia, and there is a flag down.
It might be a face mask.
Wembley is a man who caught the football. You know, Cameron Wembley is a man who plays both defensive ends and is starting tonight because of injury, and now they throw him a pass.
Well, you talk about a big play now, turnaround play.
Depends on if it's 5-yard or personal foul. You can see Jim Knight hold up 5 fingers. That is a 5-yard penalty rather than a personal foul.
Here's the play. Wembley grabs the face mask.
So the face mask penalty is not going to be enough for the first down, and it will be administered and now move down to the 42-yard line. That's the first penalty of the game, as the first quarter has just run out, and we can't end the first quarter on that penalty, right, Mike?
Well, what a big play, because Al Groh's team had field position. They played the fake punt just right.
5-yard incidental face mask by the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
Now, Ron, you know they'll punt the football. It was just the right field position for the fake.
Well, you called it.
Virginia was ready for it. Bobby Bowden's very fortunate right there. He knows he's fortunate. They're going to go for it, and they may try to draw off Virginia.
Mike, they moved the ball. It's now 4th down at about 1 rather than 4th down and 5. And they give it straight ahead to the fullback, Coleman. He is driving his legs, and from where the official is coming in, yeah, he's going to have the first down.
Big play in this football game.
So let's take a timeout. That's the end of the opening quarter. A little bit of a strange score, but I guess with the baseball playoffs going on, it is in harmony with them. A couple of doubles and a single, huh? 2-0, Florida State.
Monday Night Countdown, presented by UPS, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Car starts a little bit loose, gets better as he goes along. He has 6 races to make up 150 points. Dave?
Michael Waltrip started tonight right behind the 10 car of Scott Riggs. Remember that? When Scott missed the shift, Michael magically, in his own words, missed the accident. Car is working pretty well for Michael right now. Matt?
Dave, you can hear the confidence on the radio by the championship leader, Kurt Busch, who is in.
They're 2 of 3 on 4th.
And you can't participate, that holds you back from knowing the whole scheme, understand what the coaches want from you, of course being
for assurance in any weather on the wings of Goodyear.
Every day printer companies say they can help us print cheaper.
Why don't they show us how to print less?
Less.
Print less.
Printer companies don't help people print less.
That's an oxymoron.
One company will help you print less. Lexmark. We've designed smarter ways for the world's biggest businesses to print, move, and manage information. Go to Lexmark.com and see how we can help yours uncomplicate.
Become a member of Starwood Preferred Guest at Weston.com.
Coming to DVD and video Tuesday. Van Helsing. How do I kill him?
No one knows how to kill Dracula.
The legend lives forever.
Oh my God.
Own the DVD Tuesday.
You know the stock market goes up and down, right? Right. But not your wireless bill. It stays high because of ugly overages.
Tell me about it.
Well, only Sprint got rid of them. Check it out.
With the Sprint PCS Fair and Flexible plan, 100 extra minutes never cost more than $10. Other plans charge at least $40, so talk all you want.
Saving money. Anyone interested?
Plans start at $35. Sprint PCS, now that's better.
So we're back, and that's a 2-0 smile right there by the cheerleaders of the Seminoles. And that's what they lead by. Burt Reynolds in town for the remake of The Longest Yard. He was a halfback here in 1954.
Lee Corso. Wonder if he's going to be in the movie. He played with Burt Reynolds.
They were roommates, weren't they?
Yeah.
Leon Washington in the ball game at tailback. Little play action this time by Sexton. Gets this one away. Got it complete. That's Craponzo Thorpe at the 11-yard line. Good for 26 yards.
Craponzo Thorpe's going to hit the 2 deep. He's going to go right in the seam. The safety can't get over. Wyatt Sexton makes a good, hard throw here against 2 deep coverage.
Mike, let me tell you something. Leon Washington may be a tailback and runs the football and catches it, but he threw a block that almost took the head off a blitzing corner. First and goal from the 10. This time he'll get the football, hurdles the man, going to take it down close to the 5-yard line. Tonight's game track is brought to you by Pioneer. Well, Virginia, an opportunity to go on top first, and that field goal attempt is wide left. Then a block punt. Ball out of the back of the end zone. That's a safety. And then Florida State with an opportunity. But Virginia closes the door as the ball hits the upright, and Bethea unsuccessful on the kick attempt. Second and goal, 6 yards away. This is the 8th play of the drive. Washington hit behind the line of scrimmage. That's Parham, who is in the backfield with the penetration. Huge defensive play.
Big play, Ron. You're going to see it from the sky cam. 44 is going to come right through and make this play on Leon Washington. This defense keeps coming up big. They have to hold him to a 3-point attempt.
Well, you could see that Bobby Meeks was pulling on the play, and he came right off his tail and just filled the gap and then filled up the face mask of the ball player.
They brought him on a blitz. He came right behind the guard.
Third down and goal. The ball moved back to the 9-yard line. Washington in motion. And whistles.
Delay a game.
Dead ball Delay of game, offense, number 19.
This defense has been on the field because the offense, except for the first long pass by Virginia's offense, the defense has been on the field challenged.
Well, they have played well, but you're right. When you start adding up total plays and you look back and say, wow, those kids have had to play a lot. See time of possession. Florida State at almost 9.5 minutes. Virginia 6:57.
They like to post with Thorpe.
Sexton. They set up a screen out in the flat. Washington breaks off a tackle. 10. And he's going to take it down to the 8-yard line. Dennis Haley made the stop on him.
I talked about FSU's defense being very quick. This Virginia defense can run too.
You can
They're
see
all over.
Tony Franklin had a shot at him.
A lot of missed tackles.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Leon Washington tries to break it, but too much pursuit.
That's the reason Franklin was banging himself in the head. Field goal attempt coming up. Bethea missed on his first attempt. This one is right down the middle. So we'll take a timeout. 12:33 left of the opening half, and our new score: Seminoles 5-0.
Bold new automatic and manual drive Eiger.
Breaks the plane there with the football, and it's a score.
Jason Ricks for the point after. And it's blocked. How huge is that? A&M now with an opportunity. Byron Jones with a football. Couldn't bring it back the distance, though. Huge when you consider the slip earlier in the game by Pegram, where they lost to the A&M. Special teams lost an extra point on their last score. So I was wondering if that was going to come.
First time this year he's been under 100 yards, but still pretty good numbers.
Great numbers and accuracy, but I think they'd like more yardage out of it. Fourth down, it would have been a 53-yard field goal attempt. Jeff Tedford going for it now.
Rogers looking, throwing. He's got the first down inside the 30, down to the 26-yard line. Jeff MacArthur. Talk about your bread and butter guy. That's his 6th reception of the night.
Two things hit me on this play, Ron. Number one, offensive line, and there's Aaron Rodgers about spiking it right now to try and stop the clock, signaling to his team.
That's exactly what he's going to do with 27 seconds.
The choice of artillery.
On second down and goal. Orton. He'll try and do it himself.
Mission accomplished. Sometimes the light way is the right way to live the high life.
The Monopoly Best Chance game is back at McDonald's, and this year I could even win a completely tricked out Honda Civic.
5-0, Florida State on top. Now Mike Gottfried, let's talk about special teams in reverse. Florida State has not been very good on kickoffs and kickoff coverage. Conversely, Virginia has been outstanding. This could be an opportunity for the Cavaliers to get something going in this ball game with either a very good return or return it for a score.
This is where you got to get good field position off your kickoff return team.
Johnson and Weeks, the two deep men.
Clemson brought back 2 for touchdowns on kickoff returns.
Bethea prepares to kick it off. Flag is down. They were offsides on this kickoff. You know, Virginia may ask them to do this again since he kicked it out of the end zone.
There's no doubt.
Five yards. Encroachment by the kicking team.
There's no doubt Al Gross going to want him to kick it over.
The receiving team has the option to assess the penalty from the touchback spot or to re-kick after a 5-yard penalty. They've elected to re-kick after a 5-yard penalty.
Now Al Gross reads the same things we do. He knows the kickoff coverage has not been good.
And this way, even if Bayfia gets a foot into it as he did the last one, they're going to get to return this one, it would appear. Well, the school record at Virginia, 100 yards on kick returns. It has been accomplished 3 times, and twice by Marcus Weeks. So if the Seminoles can help it, they will keep the football away from number 5. There he is right there. And it's going to be Weeks at the 11-yard line. It's upended hard at the 26-yard line. Reese Davis will check back with you.
Ron, after Cal's heartbreak against USC last week, UCLA had locked it up at 14 against the sturdy Golden Bears when Aaron Rodgers went up top. Great catch by tight end Garrett Cross. Bears on top just before the half by 7.
You know, it's an impressive California team. The score in that game last week, when you look at the stats of their game against Southern Cal, you would have thought that the Bears would have won it and won it by a couple of touchdowns.
They were thrown in the end zone for the last play.
Wally Lundy comes into the ball game and he joins Pierman. That's Lundy who was in motion. Pressure, they're going to sack him, and that is Eric Monroe. Monroe, Moore, I should say, is the only returning starter on that front. We didn't think he was going to play tonight because of an ankle injury.
Well, he just beats the double team right there and makes the sack, Eric Moore.
Well, he comes right through DeBrickashaw Ferguson and takes down the quarterback, Marcus Hagans. And Moore coming back to the sideline. He and Bunkley both with injured ankles have just not been able to go much tonight. Look at that. 275 is what they average. And only 3 yards so far tonight. Travis Johnson gets up, deflects the football, and things are going from bad to worse for this offense.
Yeah, when you're a 5'9" quarterback, 5'9", 5'10", the defensive linemen, when they come up inside, raise their hands. It's tough to find a throwing lane. Travis Johnson, Marcus Hagans setting up, throws the ball, and you can see the right hand of Travis Johnson.
As we mentioned, we had a good long talk with him yesterday, recruited by Southern Cal, Michigan, Ohio State, UCLA. But he said he thought this place was where he wanted to wind up, and he did. Virginia now 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversions. They have missed the last 3. Pass over the middle, got this one. It is not going to be enough for the first down as Williams, what a nice looking pitch and catch, but he's short. And McGrew was there to put the stopper on it.
Good defense by FSU. The sack holding them to a 3 and out again. Deion Williams with a good catch. Not enough yardage.
Sean Johnson stands back to punt, the second punt of the night by Virginia. And the Seminoles have the return on. Wobbly spiral, gathered in at the 28 by Reed. And Reed is going to be stopped. They're going to spot him down at the 37-yard line. So let's take a timeout. 10:43 left till halftime. 5-0. The Noles.
Great car. It was just a wonderful car. The thing was flying, man. And I just come off of turn 4 and just made a pass in some car and come off turn 4, and I looked up and I seen the guy spinning. Earl yelled, "Go low." I went low. And as soon as it went low, I guess it was Gordon. He hooked, flew across the racetrack, and it was unavoidable. Just, I was sure he was going to go up high, start sliding up high. Instead it hooked, he flew across the bottom and killed a good car, man. This is one of the best cars I've had here in Charlotte. Just a crying shame this has happened. I never dreamed this. You hate to have something like this happen when you're this hooked up.
A lot of damage to the front of the 2 car. They'll get him back out, but it will not be a fun evening for Rusty Wallace.
Oh, here comes Junior.
Look at that.
Oh, right, almost in the back of the 12 car.
Did he damage it? No, he definitely got in the back of the 12 car, I think.
I'm just looking if he damaged his own right front fender there.
He may have.
One warranty.
Smartest move I ever made.
Suzuki!
Suzuki! They're real cars for real people.
Like me. And me.
And me.
All right, Tommy. It's incredible. What? Well, I thought that was a green shirt, but it's actually more like a, Seafoam? That's right, seafoam.
GE Reveal light bulbs bring out patterns and colors that often go unnoticed. GE, imagination at work.
Double Patty Melt Toaster. Sonic's got it, others don't. Stop by Sonic and try a tasty new Double Patty Melt Toaster sandwich. 2 all-beef patties and your choice of smoky cheddar or pepper jack cheese, topped with grilled onions and served on thick Texas toast. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Primetime. Brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And Suzuki. More and more people are making the smart move to Suzuki.
So we're back in Tallahassee, Florida, state capital here. And I'll tell you, we have had gorgeous weather the last few days. And these people are so thankful that the weather has cleared up. It is, we've got some hint of fall in the air, but more than anything, Mike Godfrey, that they're not hurricanes coming through. These poor people have been bashed like never before. And you can still see remnants of it all around the state as you drive. Sexton on first down, sets, throws the ball 40, 45. It's Lorenzo Booker out of the backfield. Well, let's take a look at this last drive. Here comes the fake right here. Ekajuba grabbed him by the face mask, so 5-yard penalty. They get an opportunity, and Coleman, the fullback, will pick up the first down. Mike Sexton on that play right there as they get the field goal. He really has a nice, smooth throwing motion.
He threw that ball as well as you can throw it.
Second down and 3. You see the blitz off the corner. It's picked up nicely. He steps up, throws to the wide open receiver. That's Stovall, and he will take it down inside the 25-yard line. That's good for 32 yards as Tony Franklin comes over to make the stop. And that was Lorenzo Booker who made the pickup on the blitz.
Yeah, did a good job. You're going to see pressure come from the outside. Right here, the blitz. Booker picks it up. Stovall comes open over the middle. When you give pressure, now that's a zone blitz. But Wyatt Sexton, accurate throw, moved up in the pocket, did what he had to do.
So it's a first down for the Seminoles as you look at Wyatt Sexton, 6'3", 200, a sophomore from here in Tallahassee. That ball, and that is the second time that Booker has had the ball to hit him right in the hands, and he dropped it. Reese Davis, what do you have for us this time?
Ron will check in on Wisconsin and Purdue, and Boilermakers driving in the fourth. Kyle Orton flushed out of the pocket. Been on the move, on the roll in the second half. Does it with the run here. Purdue up by 10, seemingly in good shape. But John Stocco leads his team on the drive. Booker Stanley out of the backfield. And the Badgers within 3, inside 5.5 to go.
Okay. Well, Erasmus James, as long as he's still healthy, they got an opportunity. They tried to set up the screen. Sexton now running for his life, and he gets out of bounds at the 21-yard line. It's Hoffman who forced him out.
Ron, that was a good decision again. You set up the screen, and all of a sudden your linemen are going to get downfield. You see number 77 downfield, so he can't throw the football. He's got to run it, get out of bounds.
Mike, I've just been told, I mentioned Erasmus James, the outstanding defensive end for the Badgers. He's out of the ball game with an injured ankle.
It's too bad.
Yep.
Great pass rush.
Oh, he's one of the best, and in fact would be a finalist, I would think, for the Lombardi Award this year.
Now this is interesting. I don't know if Virginia started offside, but I think they got back, and then all of a sudden the center snapped the ball to Wyatt Sexton. He took a knee. I think this is not a penalty, but they're going to call it for offsides.
Hoffman's the man who jumped across, and David Castillo, the center, the junior out of Palm Beach, Florida.
You always teach your centers, if somebody jumps offside, snap the ball. And Al Gross saying, I don't think he was offside. Here's what your center's taught to do. If somebody jumps, you snap the football right now. But it looked like he was back when the ball was snapped.
Well, the officials have stepped it off, and I'll tell you, this is one of those kind of plays, Mike, after they step it off, instead of 3rd and 6. Now you got 3rd down and just a little bit more than 1. A lot of different play calling.
Oh, it really is. You can run the football right here. The offensive line take over.
Leon Washington gets the handoff, tries to bounce it outside, going to be hit down and knocked for a loss. Parham was the first man, and then Brooks finished him off, and there's a flag out here on the sideline. Is that a face mask?
Yeah, another face mask by Kai Parham. Keep hurting themselves on defense with the face mask.
Well, and that's a situation where the Seminoles being at home, yeah, you got them stopped, and they don't need any help. Yeah, that just barely slid over there.
He hit the side of the helmet.
Okay.
The crowd yelled, and the flag flew.
So Parham.
5 yards. Instead of no face mask on the defense. The result of the play is the first down.
So let's check back with Reese Davis.
All right, Ron, better take a look at this. We're not going to believe the way the first half ended for Texas A&M against Oklahoma State. Reggie McNeil for all he's worth. Terrence Murphy tipped. The Quan Mobley touchdown. Pokes one of the unbeaten teams in the land down 27-6 at the half at home.
Okay. Hail Mary's alive and well there. That's Henshaw, who was injured. He also has been nursing an ankle injury. One of those 5 ankles we were talking about.
A&M living right.
Coach Francione has done a really nice job.
He really has.
And I'll tell you, defensively, they are playing some really good football. That's Dean in motion. And they give the ball to Booker. Bounces it outside. Oh, what a quick step there. He takes it to the 5-yard line. Marcus Weeks comes over to make the tackle. B.J. Dean with a good block on the play. The junior out of Tuscaloosa. You can see for yourself.
Booker's going to show you his speed as he bounces to the outside. Really, Virginia kind of controlled the line of scrimmage there. Booker wisely bounces out to the right side.
So it's 2nd down, and the Seminoles can pick up the first down without scoring, and the ball would be just around the 1 or just inside. Under 9 minutes to play until the halftime. Booker. Touchdown, Florida State. So you take a look at that Virginia defense, and I just mentioned that we've just gone under 9 minutes. Keep one thing in mind. That Cavalier defense has been on the field. That was the 29th play that they have already been out there to have to do battle. That's a lot. Bethea knocks home the extra point. We'll take a timeout. First touchdown of our ball game at the 8:46 mark. And it's the Seminoles 12 and the Cavaliers nothing.
Kyle Orton standing and reaching a crossroads in his Heisman campaign. Today is the day, as the song just sang, and there's a look at his numbers, 19-33, a touchdown and a pick.
Mark, he's always looked for Taylor Stubblefield in these kind of situations. They do have a lot more balance, but it's man-to-man coverage. Scott Starks on Taylor Stubblefield down here at the bottom.
Orton calls his own number, lunging, And he got the first down at the 29-yard line. Dialed up his own play.
And meet the rookie QB who's keeping the irons blazing in the Steel City. Plus predictions.
They're going to roll today.
And up-to-the-minute reports from around the league.
Johnson may seek a trade or is released.
On the hardest-working pregame show in football.
You've got some viewing to do.
Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by Old Spice, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
How much are you paying for internet service? $21? $23? Aren't you being charged too much? We think so. With People PC Online, you get unlimited internet access for only $10.95 a month. Go to peoplepc.com now to try us free for 30 days and compare us with your current ISP. With People PC Online, you get internet service for less than half of what the big guys cost. And that's just the beginning. You also get more local access numbers than AOL, plus a smart dialer that automatically chooses the fastest, most reliable number. So you always get the best connection. All for just $10.95 a month. Try People PC Online free for 30 days and see for yourself. Go to peoplepc.com for a quick 3-minute download of our easy-to-use software. Or call 1-800-PEOPLE-PC. People PC Online, a better way to internet.
Gonna tackle. In attack.
So welcome back to Tallahassee, Florida, and our ball game now at 12-0, Florida State. We talked about how good this return team is for Virginia. Mike, they've only got 3 yards rushing. The special teams may be the one that have to fire the salvo that gets everybody's attention and gets them going.
Defense of Florida State has been great in the first half.
Here's the kick, long driving kick again, and this one's going to be 5 yards deep in the end zone. They will not return it. Erin Andrews, let's check with you.
All right, Ron, I'm here with Tampa Bay teammates Derek Brooks and Rondé Barber, but tonight they're cheering for different teams. Derek, of course, a big star at Florida State. Rondé at Virginia. I'm going to start with Rondé because he told me he was losing it. Your team is down 12-0. What do they got to do, Rondé, to get back in this?
We're losing the field position battle. They've been on this side of the 50, the whole game. We just got to make a play. It's all football's about. We just got to make one, see if we can get back in this thing.
Huge star here, Mr. Derek Brooks. The crowd's chanting your name. You've been taunting him all night. You had to meet at center field because they're on their respected sides. You've been nice to him this week. What kind of bets do you have?
We got a couple of gentlemen bets, but right now, 12-0. Anything can happen. So we still got to keep winning the field position battle and keep making plays.
But Ronnie, you were on that team in '95 that beat Florida State. Also, your brother Tiki was on it. He's not here tonight. We got to bust on him. Where is he?
Tiki, I've been emailing him all week, telling him to forget his wife's 10-year high school reunion to come down here, but he didn't make it. I respect that, but I'm here to support the troops.
All right, quick, a prediction from both of you.
I think this game's going to end up pretty close. I'm saying Virginia 25-24.
Derek?
I'm saying Florida State. I don't care what the score is as long as we win.
Big game for you guys this Monday night versus St. Louis Rams. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Guys, back over to you.
2 very talented young men who have represented their universities well since getting out of school and now in the pro ranks. 2nd down and long for Virginia. Running play, I mean, there's just absolutely nothing there. Mike Gottfried hit the nail on the head as you take a look at Travis Johnson, big number 99 on the top of the pile. Fluellen, the man at the bottom. Mike, what are they going to do to solve this? They simply can't run the football.
No, but I like Al Grove being patient, still not opening up. At 6 3-and-outs in the first 5 games this season. Tonight 3. They got to throw the football. It's going to rest on Marcus Hagans.
About to hit 7.5 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Good look at Marcus. Talk about game breakers. He can break one open in about 2 seconds himself. Play action under heavy pressure. Gets away from harm's way. Now delivers it and incomplete. Receiver McGrew could not hold on. at around the 35. And again, it was Travis Johnson who was harassing the quarterback.
And Travis Johnson had a lot to say. He said, people don't respect us anymore. We have to show them that we're back. He talked about all the ESPN announcers picking Virginia, and he just said, we're going to gain respect.
You know, quite frankly, he's not the only one. This entire team was talking about the fact that everybody was picking Virginia to win this ball game, and the Noles simply said, we'll see, it's our house.
They're going to come after this punt.
Good pass and a driving spiral. This is a good one. All the way back to the 36-yard line. This is Reed. Opening on the far side, going to be hit. That's knocked out by Pierman, and let's go back and check with Reese Davis.
Ron, Kyle Orton's been killing Wisconsin running the ball for first downs. They're trying to run out the clock here. Orton appears to have the first down picked up, but as he goes into the air, the ball comes loose, and Scott Starks going the other way for Wisconsin. He puts it in the house. They missed the PAT, but Badgers up by 3.
That's a turnaround.
I'm telling you. Guy gets hit and in midair turns it over. The discussion on the flag, and they talk it over at the 46.
Illegal block in the back during the return by the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul and a first down.
I like the plan of Jeff Bowden tonight. Really a conservative plan, but he's allowing Wyatt Sexton to pick the two deep of Virginia apart. Taking the underneath throws, very accurate, and mixing in the running game with Leon Washington and Booker. There's Jeff Bowden.
Leon Washington comes in the ball game for the Seminoles at tailback, right over the middle. We got that one complete to Paul Irons. They just simply have not thrown to the tight ends that much this year, but he gets that one complete. So time for tonight's Aflac trivia question. What player has the most passing between Virginia and Florida State? That answer will come up a little bit later on. You know, one of the things that the coaches talk about and say about this young fellow right here, Wyatt Sexton, you'd like for him to have a little bit more sense of urgency. But he's the type of kid, he's so laid back. Yeah, I mean, you can't fault that. He's also cool and calm under pressure. They throw it right back over the middle, and the tight end ball is loose. Paul Irons was the receiver.
That's his third catch, Ron. And Jeff Bowden was talking about Paul Irons. And he said, we need to get him the football, but we've been saying that for 4 years.
Obviously, with the moving of the chains, they're going to say that he was down and that the fumble occurred after he was down. Did you see Bobby Meeks, number 73, the big right guard? He was talking to Irons saying, we're not going to throw to you anymore if you're going to drop the football. Irons 3 receptions, 14 yards. That pass right on target to Stovall. I mean, he dropped it right in there, and it's good for 14 yards and another first down for the Seminoles.
Boy, Leon Washington again, Ron, made a great block. Three makes the block, allows Wyatt Sexton time.
You know who that was? Blackstock has no tackles in this ball game, and he is their noted pass rusher. But the running backs of Florida State have not allowed it to be a problem so far. Little draw play. Washington reverses field. Flag comes in. Boy, that's enough for the first down and a gain of about 15 yards. But I think that's going to come back. Jermaine Hardy made the tackle.
You talk about Wyatt Sexton being laid back, but he went after the referee and said that hold was way deep after the play. Didn't argue whether it really was a holding.
Offense, 77, 10-yard penalty from the spot.
Yeah, Ray Willis. Right tackle. See what the referee sees right here.
Well, that's who they called the penalty on Willis. So instead of a first down and 5 yards, the penalty moves the ball back to the 49. Good look at Ray, one of the 2 married players on this Florida State team. Pass right over the middle. Complete to Paul Irons. Boy, they're just wearing this thing out with the tight ends.
Garden High School, they talked about Heath Miller, Virginia's tight end, all week. Paul Irons said, I'm glad to be a blocker, but tonight they're featuring him.
Haven't been able to call Heath's name very much tonight. What I think he has 1 pass reception. Does Miller? Yeah, 1, and that was right at the very beginning of the ball game. 2nd down and 9. Washington back into the boundary. 35 spun down at the 32-yard line by Tony Franklin. And from where they've marked this, I don't know if he has the first down or not. He's very close. And it appears it's going to be a 3rd down and short for the Seminoles. See if they bring in the chains. Well, from where his left foot is, they are going to have the first down.
Leon Washington off to a good start.
They stretch it out, and again the yellow line is right on. You know, the thing you gotta love about a Leon Washington, Bobby Bowden said it best. Didn't matter what, he just wanted to be able to play. As a freshman, he led the team in tackles on kickoff returns. He wanted to get on the field. So he said, special teams, that's absolutely wonderful. They think he's really good in the clutch, and when they need a big play, he's the guy they depend on.
Crunch time.
They don't have the box right. They've got 2nd down up there. But it should be first. Washington, this time to the wide side of the field, tries to turn it up. Good job defensively by the Cavaliers. Marcus Hamilton was out there to make the stop.
Yeah, the corner, Marcus Hamilton, comes up and makes the play. Last 2 games for Leon, 3 touchdowns. Get him the football. He is a very good back. Strong.
James Coleman is going to come into the lineup, number 36 at fullback. Of the 2 fullbacks, probably considered by the coaching staff as a better blocker, junior out of Tallahassee, 6 feet 245. Here comes pressure, pass right over the middle. Irons with still another catch, and he tries to run over the tackler, who was Ahmad Brooks.
When they go to a split formation, they're going to show screen both ways, and now you're going to see the tight end come into the picture wide open in the middle. Paul Irons, good play call.
Irons really catching on to this thing. You know, he may be a former guard, but he's beginning to have fun. Yeah. That's what, 5 catches, and I'll tell you, you don't run over him. You don't run over Ahmad Brooks very easily, and not very often.
Boy, Virginia needs a stop.
This defense now has been on the field 37 plays. There's a timeout. 2:38 left until halftime. Score remains 12-0 Seminoles.
Ball and spotted in the proper place. We've seen that be problematic in the past.
I think the key thing is indisputable evidence.
After review, there's indisputable video evidence that it was a catch. The ball will be placed on the 46-yard line, 3rd down.
46-yard line.
There you go.
So they advance it.
I mean, this is what you call indisputable, I guess. Right there, the right foot is down. That's a catch. I think that's a good call.
And that much closer to field goal range for Ben Jones, the place kicker. 3rd down and 2. They've got to get to the 48.
And the beauty, Mark, Purdue has not used a timeout. They still have 2 timeouts with 1:18 left.
Orton working out of the shotgun. Incomplete, intended for Stubblefield. It hasn't been their day. Stubblefield had to twist around to make the catch.
Want to get away? Now you can. Go to Southwest.com for Southwest Airlines $39 to $149 internet specials to 59 destinations nationwide. Purchased by October 21st.
You are now free to move about the country.
Well, the answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question, what player has the most passing yards in a game between Virginia and Florida State? And that would be Danny Cannell of Florida State. 454 yards. That was in 1995.
Well, Wyatt Sexton's showing a good quarterback, which he is tonight. 9 out of 10 for 108 yards in this quarter.
Wow. 15 to 20 on the evening. Pass for the end zone. Caught for a touchdown by Stovall. Marcus Hamilton is saying he pushed off.
Talked about surviving early, and Virginia's not surviving. Stovall hit the man coverage, bump and run on the fade.
Savied Bethia comes in to attempt the extra point. And he knocks it home. This crowd was already loud, but they're getting louder, and for good reason. 19-0 lead by the Noles. Just over 2.5 to play until halftime.
By less than 6 points, and one of them went into overtime.
And Mark, Wisconsin still with 2 timeouts left. They had 2 timeouts when they started this drive. They have not had to use one. They have the whole toolbox as far as plays. Draw is not a bad play right here. Shuffle pass to the running back is not a bad play. So they can do it all because they still have 2 timeouts.
On first down and 10 from Wisconsin's 45, Kyle Orton. Over the middle, incomplete. He was looking at Stubblefield the entire way, but Brett Bell was right there with him. It'll be second down and 10 with 1:04 to go.
Again, Mark, they doubled Taylor Stubblefield again. Watch Jim Leonard and Brett Bell. They're inside-outside on him with 2 defenders. I'm surprised that Kyle Orton would continue to go to him right there. But once again, that's Kyle Orton's safety net, Taylor Stubblefield. They've been together in a long time.
Had a little bit of recent success with the freshman Dorian Bryant, too.
Mark, with only 5 in that box, a run is not a bad call now.
The pass instead, Orton. Complete to Bryant. There's the freshman with another key grab down to the.
Stovall is a big receiver too, just over 6'2", weighs about 216, and if you're going to try to muscle a receiver around, it's a little hard to do when they're that size with that kind of mobility. This kick is returnable here from the 5-yard line, and it's Michael Johnson. Whoa. Reese Davis, let's check back with you.
All right, Ron, coming up on the Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report, Trev and Mark are with me. The Trojans looking terrific like a #1 team should. The Sooners scuffling, pulling one out like a potential #1 should. And we'll show you a perfect ending to a perfect Big Ten game.
And I'll tell you how valuable Reggie Bush is to this offense of USC.
And we'll talk about the best team in the SEC, and it's not the Georgia Bulldogs.
I think Trev has had a change of heart in the SEC, guys.
Sounds to me like his heart has gone to the Plains. The Auburn Tigers, wow, they are really playing some football. 19-0 our score here. Hagan zings it right over the middle, has that one complete, and there's Heath Miller. It's his tight end for the 2nd time tonight. Interesting the fact that Heath came to Virginia as a quarterback and now has grown to 6'5", 256.
Outstanding pitcher and basketball player in high school.
As we mentioned, he had 70 catches last year to lead the nation as far as tight ends. As Pearman makes that catch, that's enough for the first down. Nicholson gets the stop on him. They got plenty of time here. Just chip away, get on the board. They had the opportunity. Algro put them in position to score first,
right
and they missed the field goal. So lost a bit of momentum there, and then the Florida State defense just totally took over. Here comes a blitz. Top of your screen. There's Miller. Makes the catch. And that's going to be a gain of about 8 yards. Watkins makes the stop on him.
Now they're settling on the passing game. Finding Heath Miller. Same thing Florida State is doing.
Quick pass to the sideline. Got that one complete to Dion Williams. And Williams will step out of bounds and stop the clock. And already they're across midfield. We still have 1:25 until intermission.
Would be a big lift if they can take this into the end zone. Get a touchdown just before the half. Something positive to build on.
There's Mickey Andrews. Of course, the long-time defensive coordinator here with the Florida State Seminoles. He's trying to keep them out of that end zone. Higgins. Here comes pressure. He'll run away. And he'll get out of bounds. And you know, Mike, there is an example of just how fast Florida State is. Higgins is normally quick enough to run away from any other defense. They're running step for step with it.
It's defensive linemen and linebackers.
Sims was the guy there who was in hot pursuit.
He's the third fastest guy on this football team. Now, you know they got a lot of speed. Ernie Sims is 6 foot, 220, a linebacker. He'll be a safety in the pros.
You know what they say about him? They say he is just simply reckless with his body. Higgins hit his last 4 passes. Let's see, with a 2nd and 10 if they go back to the passing game. From the shotgun. Yep, swings this one out to Lundy. Oh, good open field tackle. Wow. That is as well as it can be played. Antonio Cromartie, the sophomore out of right here in Tallahassee, came up to make the stop on Wally Lundy. Could not make another stride.
The swagger is here at FSU tonight. They wanted to prove a point.
So timeout, Virginia. And let's go back to the touchdown, Mike.
Here's what Sexton sees. He sees all these guys in the box right here, sees the safety, sees man coverage out here. He's going to throw the fade down the corner to Stovall against Marcus Hamilton. Good throw, touchdown. And you see that safety in the middle of the field. There's no help outside. And that was a 2-back set for Florida State. So that's what they were expecting. Virginia, a run.
Well, when you look right here, the first drive, 58 yards. First play from scrimmage, 41 yards in the pass play. The last 4 drives, 24 yards, 4 3-and-outs. This drive, 25 yards.
That's when you look at that first drive, that long pass, take that away. It's been no offense.
Well, you're right, because total yardage for Virginia, 107, and 41 of it, Mike's right, came in the very opening play of the ball game.
Give Mickey Andrews, Kevin Steele, the defensive coaches of the Seminoles credit. There's Kevin Steele right here. Mickey Andrews.
Crowd coming to life. 3rd down. Virginia needs to take it all the way to the Seminole 39-yard line. Movement, their flags all over. They're going to get 5 of them back for free. It's going to be about a 3rd down and 10 now. And Charles Howard, number 59, is the man who was rocking back and forth and could not get back.
Florida State, most penalized team in the ACC. Per game this year.
Florida State.
Good ball. False start. Offense. Please reset the clock to 1:08.
So my apologies to Charles Howard. The reason he The reason he came across
saw an offensive lineman move.
That's right, saw a lineman
My
move.
apology to the Seminoles, too, for talking about them being the most penalized team. They still are.
That's one of the things that Al Grove's football team has not really had a problem with. Now it's 3rd down and 20. Hagans, heavy pressure. Gets away from one, gets away from a second, and now the pass is caught by Miller, the tight end, and that is enough for the first down inside the 35-yard line.
That's what he can do, Marcus Hagans. When you put pressure up inside, get those hands up, he starts to scramble. He finds Heath Miller.
25 yards in the play. Cameron Wembley was really disturbing the peace back there. Pass is caught right over the middle, and it's Miller again.
Virginia with 2 timeouts, Ron.
Buster Davis is there to make the tackle for the Seminoles. And they bring in a couple of extra defensive backs. Here comes a blitz. Pass far sideline is caught. And they're going to say he was in bounds, and the clock will continue to run. We'll stop it momentarily for the first down chains to move. Deion Williams is the man who did a really good job of making the catch and then going down.
And Deion Williams is a very good receiver. Coached by Keith Howard in high school. Here's Marcus Hagans. You're going to see the pressure. Now the scramble. It looked like they got him.
Yeah, that's Wembley. That's what I was talking about. It looks as though for the world that he had him. And then he has the presence of mind going against the grain to put touch on the ball and drop it in there.
Marcus Hagans thinks there's 13 guys on defense. So he keep hitting him.
I'm telling you.
He's running a long way. Al Grove thinks there's 13 guys too because they're really swarming the football. Al Grove, a very good football coach. Virginia's off to a great start.
You know, Mike, this is an unofficial count, but the numbers that we have here in the booth is that Florida State has now played 12 defensive linemen in this first half.
They always do. And they keep, they get guys fresh, experience, depth.
It's another reason, even with all the ankle injuries that they have had from last week's ball game, when the entire right side of the defensive line is decimated, you don't have them. You still got guys who play on a regular basis. Good look right there, though, with a fellow that has really stepped it up. Number 99, Travis Johnson, probably playing better than he has his entire career here because he's finally healthy. 1st and 10 for the Cavaliers. You see the ball just inside the 20-yard line. Hagans, touch on this one. Looks for the end zone, and McGrew got turned the wrong direction. McFadden was there covering on him.
And McFadden in good shape on Michael McGrew. They'll have Heath Miller, the tight end, on a linebacker down here. Marcus Hagans, 13 of 17.
8 of 9 on this drive, though.
Under duress.
Well, he's got the tight end, but he throws it to Pierman out in the flat. Breaks a tackle, breaks another, bangs the ball on the turf, and it comes loose, but it's down at the 5.5-yard line. It will be 1st and goal for the Cavaliers, and that's a gain of 14. Watkins finally stopping.
We're on a very good tackle by Pat Watkins, a big safety.
Still 13 seconds showing on the clock. Trying to get on the board right here before halftime. Fade, far sideline, that's overthrown. Williams, the man that they were looking for.
Leroy Smith, again, good coverage. Talking to the receiver, Deion Williams.
Well, that play took, I didn't think it took 8 seconds, did you?
They're going to get a field goal here. Try to get on the board.
Connor Hughes comes in to attempt this short field goal, and the hole will be made at the 13-yard line. So a 23-yard attempt. He missed from 42. That was on that opening drive, and now looks as though that Florida State's going to try to ice him. They're going to use one of their timeouts.
Good drive by Virginia. Marcus Hagans engineers it. Got to come away with something. I think Al Gross talking about what you talked about. You know, they needed to speed it up at the line of scrimmage. That's what they're talking about. I'm sure over there. 8 seconds went off the clock.
Well, coming up, the Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report, and that is in about 5 seconds from now. The guy standing by back at the studio. Situation here, Florida State went on top 2-0 on a blocked field goal attempt. Then they were unable to take advantage after the free kick. I said field goal, actually I meant punt. And then they came back with a field goal to go on top 5-0. And right now we stand at 19 as they've been able to tack on a couple of touchdowns. And they really have played shutout football as they have held Virginia to only 5 yards rushing in the first half.
Couple big penalties by Virginia.
Connor Hughes trots back out. He is 6 of 10 on the season with that miss in the first half. He had 23 field goals last season. Judge for yourself. Good close angle. There's the kick, and he takes it right down the middle. And the clock will run out. We are at halftime. And at that time, the Cavaliers get on the scoreboard. Let's go down to the sideline. Erin Andrews, let's check with you.
Well, Coach, finally your team gets a little momentum going. What finally clicked?
Well, we kind of sped things up, gave the game to the quarterback, and just as he's done for us all year, he responded. And I think we'll probably end up giving the game to the quarterback most of the rest of the game.
Your ground game has been your bread and butter this year. What kind of adjustments need to be made?
Well, we've got to get a lot more openings than what we had there. Running the ball is all about space. We didn't create any space, so whether it's running or passing, we're going to have to find some other ways to create space.
Coach, thank you. Thank you. Ron?
Okay, Erin, thanks very much. Halftime score, Florida State 19 and Virginia 3. Now here's Reese Davis with the Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report. Reese? Sexton, great first half. 179 yards passing and a touchdown. The defense of the Seminoles simply dominating.
Bad as that first half was, still only down 2 scores.
So let's see if the Seminoles can get something going here. They have not only been competitive, but they have beaten 5 straight opponents to open the year. Today, they have not been able to get it going, and that pass right there to Pierman, unable to hold on. So Virginia on offense tonight, take a look at these numbers.
It's what you talked about. They can't run the ball against this FSU defense. 3 points, 5 yards.
161 yards is what they have tonight. They normally average almost 500 per ball game.
275 running the football.
Yeah. Well, if anybody can get it squared away, Al has got a great start going at Virginia. And I'm sure they talk about myriad of things at halftime that they're going to try to make changes with. Good job by the offensive line this time. Higgins going to run out of the pocket and turn it up the field. As you can see, it's a gain of 11 yards and enough for the first down.
Here's who's Virginia's played. Temple was the one away game at Philadelphia, but this is a different house here. Crowd's a factor. North Carolina, Akron, a passing team, Syracuse and Clemson. they've beaten some good football teams here, but nothing like Florida State.
First down for the Cavaliers as they move the sticks. They've got it at the 31. Wally Lunday gets the handoff, and he'll take it right up the middle and fights his way forward. That's going to be a gain of about 5.5 yards in the play. A.J. Nicholson with his second straight tackle in this second half.
Good mix right here in the play calling. You got a pass off the bat. Hagan scrambles, draw play to Lundy, keep Florida State off balance.
Zach Yarbrough, number 75, comes out over the football. He is a Floridian out of Winter Park. Seminole crowd trying to bring some encouragement to that defense to step up again. Higgins right up in the middle, got that one complete to McGrew, and McGrew tackled hard out of bounds. It was McFadden who got him in a neck hold and knocked him down after a gain of 13.
What Virginia's doing right now is just like Florida State, taking the underneath throws. They're there. McGrew comes across the middle as a wide receiver, makes the catch. Be patient.
Well, they are, and they've got a good thing going right now. It started back at the 20-yard line. Haven't even played a minute and a half in the second half, and they're already at midfield. Higgins sprints this one out, sets to throw, and the ball is tipped and intercepted by Florida State. That's Leroy Smith. Jerome Carter, I beg your pardon. Jerome Carter, 23 rather than 32. And Higgins gets terribly unfortunate on that one. Threw it a little bit low. Somebody got a hand on it. Then it turns into the tip drill.
Yeah, good drive again, but you give up the interception. We talked about off the start of the telecast, they usually don't turn the ball over.
Mike, it was Travis Johnson, who we've talked so much about, who got his hands up and chipped that ball. Well, you think he's not pumped tonight? And he was that way yesterday afternoon when we were talking to him. He was already pumped. Booker, Lorenzo, backtracking, cutting back across the grain. He's going to wind up with a gain of 16 yards on the play.
You talk about Travis Johnson as we watch Booker make a good move here. Travis Johnson from California could have gone to UCLA or USC, but chose to come here because Bobby Bowden said you're going to start third team, work your way up. Everybody else was telling me he would be a starter.
And he said, I really respected that. And it's another reason that I came here. Booker hit in the backfield, still churning those legs. He's going to get about 3 yards in the play. Ahmad Brooks there to make the tackle. Hoffman is the man that hit him first, and then Brooks came in to finish him off. As you look at Carter, who came up with the turnover. And we mentioned that, you know, Virginians, you can see the numbers right there. Only 3 turnovers on the year. 2 interceptions now and only 1 fumble.
The other side, Florida State taking care of the football.
Brooks we had for 9 tackles, and we're just beginning the third quarter. Booker, first down and more. Hoffman again making the stop. Also, Marcus Weeks was there to help out. That's going to be a gain of 10.
Good block by Alex Barron, left tackle. Florida State running at will here in this series.
Well, Wyatt Sexton has really settled in. Swings this pass out. That's Booker. Turns the corner, gets what he can, and he will be spotted out of bounds around the 22, the 23-yard line, and there's a marker down at the 30. And that's Andrew Hoffman, who is down. It's going to be holding against Florida State. And as they attend to Hoffman, One other note on Wyatt Sexton. Well, here comes the call right here.
Holding offense. 10-yard penalty. Previous spot. Repeat the down.
Here's how Andrew Hoffman got hurt. You see him get hit low by Castilla, the center.
So Castillo threw the block. It was behind the play, but still play was going on. But the penalty now moves it back to the 38-yard line. Keenan Carter has come into the ball game, replacing Andrew Hoffman. Got that pass right between the numbers. It'll be first down, Florida State at the 13-yard line. Good for 24 yards to Reed.
Difference in the game tonight. Wyatt Sexton. When he throws the ball downfield, he's got it on a rope to Willie Reed. Takes what the defense gives him. Very small window to get that ball into Willie Reed.
Well, one of the things that Coach Bowden said on Thursday afternoon at the practice field, this kid gives us an opportunity with a pass that is so catchable. Now that one he put just on a line. He threw it very hard, but he also knows how to drop the ball in to make it very catchable with a little bit of an arc on it. Parham comes up to make the tackle right there on Leroy Washington, and Florida State can take a giant step to turning this one into a blowout if they score in this possession right here.
Talked about Wyatt Sexton is Billy Sexton calling the plays. Teammates believe in him.
Well, they seem to be having a good time with him because he spreads the ball around. He is Mr. Free and Easy. And the fact that in his first ball game, he was imitating coaches in the huddle. There's Leroy Washington back into the boundary, tries to turn the corner, but a good job defensively by Weeks to make the stop. Under 11 minutes to play, third quarter. Leroy looks as though he may have injured an arm or a shoulder. You can see him not moving that right arm very freely, and will come straight off the field and check with Randy Orovitz, the trainer for the Florida State Seminoles. Boy, rushing yardage, Virginia now at 22, Florida State 98. This time from an eye set. They tried to set up a screen. Virginia figured this one out. He runs out of bounds and then is knocked out of bounds. Florida State fans wanted a flag. They thought he was hit out of bounds by Keenan Carter, but no marker was thrown.
Good defense again by Virginia. They saw the screen, covered the receiver. Wyatt Sexton had to run the football.
Bethia comes on to attempt this field goal. They'll place it down at the 22-yard line, so we'll call it a 32-yard attempt. Good look at it right here, and boy, he got that one right down the middle. Hit the upright on the first one he kicked tonight, but he's been perfect ever since. 22-3 our new score. Let's take a break.
Because he still stayed in front of Casey Kane, the red car. He will go around the field and make up the lap on his own, and Jeff Gordon left to be the lucky dog.
Got himself up to the first car, not on the lead lap. Gordon's going to be back in the hunt for a good finish.
Yeah, he's a 16th spot. I mean, last time I looked over there, he was 25th or 26th, so he must be making that car a little bit better.
Well, that makes things interesting. This makes things interesting too. 124 laps to go. Pit stops maybe with 123 to go. So if you split that in half, everybody should be good from here to the finish on one more lap, mostly.
Is that a definite maybe?
One more stop. Is that what I said? One more lap?
Yeah, one more lap.
I've had a couple weeks off. You gotta give me a little slack there, okay?
Okay.
We have to?
It's that whole math thing again. All right. Casey Kane.
One that pays you cash if you get hurt and can't.
In the corner, and then he got a wallop. Back at the 23. Omar Gaither coming
down at the 31.
Looked like they were trying to get it to Everett. Slipped and fell, went over his head. Golster.
Exciting. It's so exciting to me.
Announcing another fresh idea from Papa John's. Our new spicy Italian pizza, loaded with pepperoni and double the Italian sausage, seasoned with a special blend of garlic and spices. Oh yeah! Now, when you buy a large spicy Italian pizza for $13.99, you get a DVD movie.
Taste the difference. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
So we are back 22-3. Florida State's lead is extended with the field goal. As you look at the young quarterback,
very calm.
I tell you, he is, and it was a dangerous play. That he got hit as he was going out of bounds, almost a chop in the back of his leg. He limped a little bit, but he came over, and as you can see, he's not being attended to by the training staff. So Bethia prepares to kick it off. Marcus Weeks and Michael Johnson, the two deep men. Very high, but it's going to be returnable from the one, and the ball is fumbled by Weeks, and he'll go down on one knee. Well, tomorrow night, Dante Culpepper, Randy Moss, and the Minnesota Vikings face Aaron Brooks, Joe Horn, and the New Orleans Saints. The Vikings Saints also available in high definition on ESPN HD. Coverage begins with NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern.
Florida State is making Virginia go the long road. Bad field position.
Well, you're right, Mike. They have not really had that comfortable situation on the field as far as positions to get started. And here's just another example of it. They got to take it 80 yards if they're going to put it in the end zone here. Michael Johnson comes in at tailback, number 2. But Hay gets right over the middle, gets it to his tight end Miller, and Heath is going to take the ball out to around the 38-yard line. That's a gain of 17.
Al Groh talked about Heath Miller has a knack, sense to get open. He really does. He's a very good tight end, good hands.
Michael Johnson, Mike, they bring him in the ball game. He actually is the big hitter, averages almost 7 yards a carry. Has 296 yards and 1 touchdown, and his longest from scrimmage is 56. They give it to the fullback, and boy, Pearman just gets wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. And Aaron Andrews, let's check with you.
Well, Ron, I'm here right now with the one and only Burt Reynolds, who took some time off from filming the remake of The Longest Yard to catch his favorite football team, the Florida State Seminoles. How's the movie going, Burt?
The movie's going really well. I never thought that I'd be remaking a film that I'd already done. I thought they might remake it, but I thought I would be pushing up daisies at the time. So I'm thrilled to death to be in a picture where I'm playing the world's oldest football player.
Well, thank goodness you're not, but I know that Adam Sandler is in the movie with you. What's it like watching him play the role that you once played?
Well, he's a lot funnier, but I'm tougher.
Now, the premiere of the original Longest Yard was here in Tallahassee at Florida Field. What kind of memories do you have of it back then?
All my memories of this place are only wonderful, the best. My heart is, it sounds so silly and like a bad greeting card, but it's just so full of good stuff.
Thank you very much for your time, Burt. Ron, back to you.
Okay, Aaron, thanks very much. Burt, the world's oldest football player, huh? Swing pass. Johnson. And Michael is turned to flip, and he will take it to the 35-yard line. So for all the effort, it's only a gain of about 1.5 yards. Pat Watkins put the stop on him. much they're going to change that thing up. I thought it was terribly entertaining and funny the first time it came out.
Very good. Burt Reynolds, great acting.
Heath Miller, good look at him. Third down. They need to take it out to the 47-yard line. Pressure from the outside. Hagens, look at all the jerseys and Florida State colors coming after him, and he gets covered up. Sims is the man who got to him first. There were 4 people in pursuit, all running just as fast as the quarterback. That's incredible.
Kevin Steele talked about Ernie Sims. He said if there's a better athlete at linebacker, I haven't seen him.
Well, you talked about Marcus thinking that there were more than 11 men on the field for the Seminoles. I guarantee on that play he did. He just did everything that he could. Good high hanging spiral. And Reed will return it from the 24. Finally going to be hit and knocked down just across the 40-yard line. That's a kick of 45 yards, and he gets 15 on the return. Take a break. 22-3 Noles.
I'll reach over and click up that toggle. The only place in the world everything goes my way.
As Casey Kane's working the high side, now it looks like it's starting to come in for him.
So 5 bonus points toward the championship for Mark Martin for leading a lap tonight at lap 216. Mark coming into the night 5th in the chase for the Nextel Cup. And 150 points behind leader Kurt Busch.
There's Harvick, 29 car. He's the first car 1 lap down right now.
Something going on with Casey Kane, Matt?
Just came on the radio. Said, Tommy, a couple laps ago, something broke in the car. It is now vibrating. The dominant car tonight may have a problem. You can see the panic on the crew guys' faces.
Oh, man.
The offensive tackle coming off the field.
They set up in the eye on this, the last play of the game. And here's the snap. Hand off to the tailback. Peterson tries the right side. Wow, what a hit. But he stays on his feet, and he's broken to the outside, and it's wide open. Touchdown. Give him a touchdown.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Primetime. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Located on the web at MBUSA.com. And Taco Bell, home of the Big Bell Value Menu.
Mike Gottfried, I want to take time to say something to a teammate, so to speak, of ours. Video engineer Al Taylor suffered a heart attack here at the stadium yesterday as the crew was beginning their setup. And he is in intensive care tonight here in the hospital in Tallahassee. And I know that all the crew is thinking about him. Al, we send along our best. He is still in intensive care, but we have every feeling that he is going to wind up A-OK. His family is down here from Pittsburgh as you watch that pass go awry. And also want to say one thing about the people here in Leon County and also at this university. The emergency people were so on top of everything. They were there at just the flash of an eye. They were there. They got their work taken care of. They were absolutely wonderful. And I know everybody on this crew sends out a thanks to them because of their efficiency and also the quick thinking of some of our other crew members that Al he's in intensive care, but he's still with us.
Our prayers are with him.
Exactly. Sexton's pass right over the middle. Got that one complete to Alfonso Thorpe. That's good for 13 yards.
Alfonso Thorpe had an ankle injury against Syracuse. You see him limping a little bit. Comes open, steps back, had the first down, backed off a little bit, trying to get free.
You know, Mike, he broke a leg And, you know, he's had leg problems, yet he's never been 100% really since then, has he?
Yeah, as a junior, he had 51 catches.
Leon Washington hits for the short side of the field. That is a nice open field stop by Schmidt to keep him not only from the first down, but he also dropped him for a loss. Well, the last 2 years, 2003, shattered his right leg. September, November, led team in receiving, and on the 15th broke his leg against NC State. And this year leads the team in receptions and yards, but he still seems to be maybe just a half step behind what he was.
Plus, they're taking away the long pass on him. They're rolling to the Z receiver, which is Thorpe.
End over end on this kick. Going to be gathered in at the 16 by Pearman. Tackle was missed. And then he's going to be stopped just short of the 30-yard line. 36 on the kick and 14 on the return. We'll be right back.
More flavor and less.
Having a rough night at Charlotte.
Well, that's his second problem on the night.
Oh, he killed the engine.
He's got more problems than just that.
Yeah.
That car's not going to be fun to drive.
Look at that right rear.
But another car that's going to have to go out and ride around and get the best he can.
Leaders pit stops, Bill.
Jimmy Johnson in. Again, a chassis adjustment. This car just continues to get tighter and tighter as they go along. So it's a chassis adjustment, 4 tires, and again, they will top it off with fuel, Dave.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in now. He said, free it up a bit, guys. They will go to a wedge adjustment. That's the top hole on the...
On the next I Do Anything, 100-mile-an-hour heat is unleashed.
Human curls.
Strip and slide down the ice. And chasing tennis balls with nothing but net. I Do Anything, presented by Sony, Tuesday at 10 p.m. on ESPN.
Ever wanted to narrow down your channel options and only see what sports events or family programs are on? Themes List is a great way to do just that. Simply press the left arrow button on your remote while you're watching a show. From this menu, select one of the categories, such as family, and you get a list of what's on in that theme. Then you can select a program and go right to it. It's a great feature, available to everyone. Check it out today.
WWE Taboo Tuesday, live Tuesday, October 19th on Dish On Demand pay-per-view.
Well, some of the sights and sounds in the early part of this ball game as the crowd is really coming to life here. Hagan's right over the middle. That ball was tipped and went harmlessly right across the middle.
That's what's happening in the middle of the defense. They're getting their hands up and tipping the football. Marcus Hagans.
That's what, you know, that ball hit Fluellen in the head.
He couldn't get his arms up. His head was up.
Oh my, little surprise for Andre. Freshman out of Cartersville, Georgia. This ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it's caught by Elton Brown, the guard. And let's check back with Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Ron, in the SEC Vaught Hemingway Stadium tonight, Tennessee and Ole Miss. David Cutcliffe facing his old boss and buddy Phil Fulmer, and Gerald Riggs just doing mean things to the Rebels. Taking it into the house. Vols rolling early, 14-0 on ESPN2.
Okay, Reese, interesting spectacle at that ball game tonight. Both of the Manning brothers are there as far as those involved in pro football. I don't know if Archie and Olivia, mom and dad, are there or not, or Cooper, but you take a look at Elton Brown as he's being helped off the field. Good look at Elton's mom, who was in the stands.
2 tip balls on the last 2 plays.
Third down, they need to take it out to the 40-yard line. Hagan's going to try to run again. Now going to man open and gets it to Heath Miller. And his tight end is going to take it across midfield. And they'll spot him down at the 47-yard line after gaining 26. McFadden finally put a stop on him.
Heath Miller flexed out to the right. Marcus Hagan's, again, the ability to keep the play alive. Drops back, scoots up, starts to move to the right, hits Miller.
Pressure on this play right here. That pass goes to Lundy. And Lundy is knocked out of bounds after short yardage. Marcelo Church. He was a reserve linebacker. Comes over to put the stop on him. Elton Brown being checked over by the training staff at UVA. Weird situation. Ball batted right back to him, so he becomes a ball carrier all of a sudden. Yeah, and he winds up with an injury. Hope it is not serious, because he's outstanding. Lundy got by 1 tackler, but not the second. He was stopped by McGrew, number 44.
Back up, middle linebacker to Buster Davis. So not only playing a lot of defensive linemen, a lot of linebackers. Kevin Steele has really added a lot to this defense.
Well, I mentioned Church just a moment ago. He's a backup to A.J. Nicholson. So they're playing substitutes in every position that they can. And again, one of the reasons that the Seminoles a lot of times just continue, it's like they re-up every year on defense. Like that run just now by Lundy, 6 yards. That's the longest run from scrimmage tonight.
Mickey Andrews' defense has shut down the running game. 275, the average Virginia coming in here.
They got 18 tonight. Third down and inches. Good look at Mickey. I'll be darned, and Lundy got free into the secondary, and he lost his own footing there. He's not real happy with himself because he had more yardage to come, but still he'll move the chains. Look at Heath Miller with the block.
Yeah, he pulled, got upfield on Florida State, got upfield, hit the draw.
Elton Brown not back in the ball game. They continue to attend to him on the bench. Hagans dropped the ball for a moment, then got right back on it, and it's McGrew. 3 times that they've sacked the quarterback tonight. Reese Davis.
Ron, the nation's longest winning streak at 16. A 20-game WAC winning streak in jeopardy for Boise State against Tulsa. James Killian finds Corey Hathaway. You know, you used to walk into Skelly Stadium and roll your hat out and keep your streak alive. Tulsa's up by 7 late.
Wow. So the Tulsa Golden Hurricane trying to put an end to that streak by Boise. Lundy and Pearman in the backfield on the 2nd down and long. Hagans right over the middle, and the ball is knocked away. Miller, the intended receiver. It looked like Watkins, who got up there very high to knock it away.
Yeah. Watkins is a very good safety with good size. Good coverage against Heath Miller. Leads Florida State with 3 interceptions. Watkins.
Now Watkins playing cheerleader, asking the crowd to get up, make some noise. Third down. They're going to take it all the way to the 18-yard line. Hagan steps up, drills this one way too tall. It'll be fourth down UDA. McGrew was the intended receiver.
Good coverage by Florida State. No one open.
Sean Johnson, 4 punches. He's averaging 41 a try. Had one blocked early tonight for safety. Willie Reed is the deep man for Florida State. And the Seminoles with the return on. This is a knuckler. Very high. Called for a fair catch and made it at the 11-yard line. We'll get a full ESPN HD schedule, or to learn about high definition and the launch of ESPN2 HD by going to ESPN.com and searching HD. Well, tomorrow, NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. Eastern, NFL Primetime, 7:30 Eastern, and the Minnesota Vikings against the New Orleans Saints, 8:30 Eastern Time. All in ESPN HD. Now Leon Washington comes to the bench, and Booker is in the backfield. And Booker trying to dance away from defenders, gets by a couple, and then is going to be knocked down by Schmidt. Aaron Andrews, what do you have?
Well, Ron, as we take a look at Wyatt Sexton on the field, you know, he's been around this Florida State program since he was born. It was second nature for him to be running around on FSU's practice field. He told me yesterday he has great memories. When he was 11 years old, he used to wrestle with former Florida State star Warrick Dunn. He's also kept in great contact with former Florida State quarterback Chris Weinke, who actually called him when he got the starting position, told him to keep his head up, keep grounded, and he'll do just fine. Ron?
Okay, Heron. Well, he is doing well, and his head coach said to us yesterday, he's not only doing well, he's doing better than I ever expected that he would. And then Coach Bowden added a stamp of approval by saying, plus the fact he's learning more each week that he plays. He's coming along quickly.
Plus, I like his poise. He stays poised. He doesn't get rattled. Hasn't made a mistake tonight.
High formation this time on the 3rd down and 5. And Leon Washington with the ball, blocker in front. Second effort, and with the second effort, he may have the first down. In fact, you can see where that linesman is coming in and puts down that right foot. Weeks and Brooks combining on the tackle for Virginia. Yeah, he's going to have it.
Good hard running by Leon Washington. Goes back again to Virginia. Came in here tonight. This crowd's been a big part of this game. But the defense of Florida State and Wyatt Sexton, difference.
Sexton right over the middle, drills that one, and again that is dropped. That's Reed who dropped the ball. He has had about 3 dropped by running backs tonight as well.
And Reed was going to run before he caught that football.
Rushing yards, 2003 meeting.
Yeah, and they couldn't run the ball last year. Florida State ran it last year. Same thing tonight.
15 total yards. Blitz coming right up the middle. Sexton delivers it. Chris Davis. And Davis hit with a head-high tackle, gain of 24 before Marcus Hamilton made the stop on him. And Chris Davis is one of those receivers, another in a long list that the coaches say we're just waiting for him to step up and then explode. They think he can really be a great one.
I've coached against these guys, Florida State. I've seen a lot of games down here. This offense tonight is reminiscent of the old days when they took the football and receivers became a big part of the game.
Mike, it makes such a difference when you have consistency at quarterback and don't turn the ball over. Washington running with a head of steam, runs into his own guy, and then is going to pick up 6 more yards. Gain of 16 on the play. B.J. Dean with a good block.
When I look at this offensive football team, they're a different team than they were before. Wyatt Sexton has emerged because now they got the passing game and the running game.
So that is the end of the third quarter. Let's take a timeout. 22-3. Seminoles dominating. We'll be right back.
Later on SportsCenter, the surprises and disappointments from a huge day of college football. Was Vintage Rocket enough to fuel a crucial Game 3 win? And does a secret recording link Barry Bonds to steroid use? SportsCenter after the game.
Monday Night Countdown, presented by UPS, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Introducing the new SLK 350. See it in 360 degrees yourself at your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
I like steak and chicken. I like the grilled shrimp, please. I like skillet sensations.
They're back at Applebee's.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Apparently, somebody was up late last night. Make that somebody's. And that's okay. Because if you work hard, you...
Get to that in just a second.
Guys in the truck are snoozing.
I'm not going there. Here's the Lowe's car, Jimmy Johnson, running in 9th place. Lost a little track position by pitting under this caution. Some of the other guys who were behind him before the yellow did not stop. Billy's got to make up some spots here.
Yeah, and it might be tough, too. Just talk to Chad Knaus. That car is tight, and they can't seem to fix that problem. They've talked about it on the radio. They've tried different adjustments, but the 48 car Johnson might just be too tight to go back to victory lane tonight.
Yeah, they've made a lot of adjustments on that car, according to Bill. Every time.
Connected. Beautiful. Learn more at sprint.com.
Except for people to understand that maybe don't follow the sport regularly, but how temperature affects the way a race car sticks to the pavement of a racetrack.
Yeah, when the track gets...
Read the fund's prospectus. It contains investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and other information which should be considered before investing. Contact us or your investment professional for a prospectus.
American Century Investments. Genuine results.
Well, as you look across the way and we head to the fourth quarter, Marcus Hagan, the outstanding quarterback for the Virginia Cavaliers, on the bench, and we think he sustained an injury. In fact, the young man is very upset on the far sideline, being consoled by his coaches and also the training staff. We think that is when it happened. But he was sitting there a moment ago and unable to keep the tears from coming into his eyes. He took a pretty good shot on that last one. Pass right over the middle, got it complete. That's Reed, good for 35 yards, and it's going to be first and goal for the Seminoles.
The opponents of Florida State seeing the emerging of a quarterback tonight.
Mike, I guarantee you, the staff at Miami, if they're watching tonight, they're sitting there saying, whew, I'm really glad we played these guys early.
First game.
This is a new machine here. First and goal from the 4. Booker gets the pitch. The blockers in front, but a nice job defensively by Virginia. Weeks will finally force him out of bounds. Good look at Chris Ricks on the sideline. I'll tell you the way this youngster's playing. I know that Chris is still nicked just a little bit, and I think you'll see him in a reserve duty from time to time just to make sure that he stays fresh. But I don't think he's not going to be the regular anymore. No. That's just the way it is.
Get that. But he was a wide receiver, I believe, in high school, so he may be able to help there too. But you always need 2 quarterbacks. One play away from going to the second.
Leon Washington checks in for the Seminoles at tailback. And they'll pitch it to him. Going to turn the corner, puts a head down. Did he get it over the cone? Nope. Yeah, they say touchdown. James Coleman with a good block on the play.
Toss sweep. Leon Washington's going to stretch that football. Touchdown. Good effort.
Bethea with the extra point attempt, and he knocks it home. Let's take a timeout. 14:30 left in our ball game, and the new score: the Seminoles continue them out, 29-3.
Oh yeah, he said a couple of things, BP, and many of them being bad right now. Way too tight. Worst it's been all night long, did Elliott Sadler say. Not very happy with the 38 car right now.
Casey Kane out in front. As we approach 400 miles in this race, we'll take you through the field when we come back to Charlotte.
From the 46, it's third down. Woods in trouble. And it's dropped. Last thing you needed, and Willis dropped it.
Hours later.
More people update their toolboxes at America's largest toolbox, the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
Trouble getting great HD programming into your HD TV? Well, Voom delivers. Voom, the only way to pump over 35 channels of high-definition movies, sports, and music into your home. Over 120 channels of great entertainment. And if you call now, you'll save $150 on standard installation. That's just $49, and you're hooked up. Call now to get what you love. Premium HD channels, over 20 Voom exclusive HD channels, as well as your favorite cable networks. Voom has the most HD anywhere, and for a limited time, it's $150 off standard installation. Just $49 to plug into the TV experience you've been waiting for. Voom HD TV delivered.
Marcus Higgins, the starting quarterback for the Virginia Cavaliers, on the bench, and it appears as though he's not going to come back. We've just been told that Christian Olsen, number 11, will be coming onto the field of play. But a physical ball game. It's been a tough ball game, but you know, I think Florida State, Mike, took all these predictions to heart and said, that's not going to happen.
Complete team tonight. Good on offense, defense, special teams. Block punt.
Well, the crowd is not real happy, but he did not bring the ball across the end zone line. And let's check with Aaron Andrews on the sideline.
Ron, an update for you. Christian Olsen, sophomore, coming in for Marcus Higgins at quarterback. A bruised left hip. Also an update from the sidelines. Al Groh chewing out his defense, telling them after this game they will all be trying out for their positions. Guys?
Well, that's... Al, he will not accept anything but 100% and perfection. And you can tell that there's some steam underneath that orange cap.
I'll tell you this, so all the guys that start on defense, they'll earn their position back next week. They're a pretty good defense.
Yeah,
They've been on the field a long time. Wide sections picked them apart.
Going to go with the running play with Pierman and Reese Davis. Let's go back and check with you.
All right, Ron, we told you Boise State's winning streak, the longest in the nation, 16 straight, in jeopardy at Tulsa. Antoine Carter of the Broncos going in the waning moments to pull it even at 46 seconds to go. Boise State and Tulsa locked up.
They saw that blue in the end zone. They're used to the blue field. They need to get to the end zone.
Christian Olsen, 6'3", 226, sophomore. out of Wayne, New Jersey. And this is Pierman. He's going to have the first down as he's collared hard out of bounds. And now here comes a flag as Pat Watkins got bumped around by some of the Virginia players.
Should have been a flag on Pat Watkins. I believe he was out of bounds, and then he threw Pierman down. I don't know about this.
Dead ball, personal foul, 22 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
After I had another chance to look at this, watch Pierman here. Watkins has got him, just finishes up the tackle, but he slams him to the ground. So
yeah, I think that's the reason for the flag. If he had just ridden him to the ground instead of the total takedown, then probably they would not have dropped the flag. So the penalty moves it first down out to the 47-yard line. Six penalties, 55 yards against the Seminoles tonight. Pierman again trying to string it out. Can't turn the corner. A.J. Nicholson says, nope, you're not going to do this on us. And we close the book on Marcus Hagans tonight because I don't think we're going to see him anymore. His numbers on the evening, 20 of 30, 214, and had one interception. And that one was a tipped ball by a lineman, and he just got terribly unlucky.
You know, the old show, This Is Your Life, it was Run for Your Life tonight. Marcus Hagans under duress all night, tipped balls in the middle, tough night.
Short drop, pass thrown complete, and the tackle immediately made. Tonight's Game Track is brought to you by Pioneer. Hagans left the game, and we think this is the play that he injured his hip on. The youngster on the far sideline with his face in a towel. Washington adds to the lead as he touches the cone with the football. That's how we stand, 29-3. Michael Johnson comes in a tailback now for the Cavaliers. Olsen with a short drop, now looking, gets this one away, and he'll have the first down to Miller. Miller did a great job of just setting up, put up his tent right there at the first down line, made the catch.
That's good. Uses his body.
Tell you what, he is such a good-looking athlete, Mike. He's going to play for a long time on the next level and help somebody tremendously. Really a good athlete. And his attitude, he just, you know, keeps on coming at you. Gets up and goes back. He never shows really any emotion at all.
Al Groves said a humble guy that's hard-working.
He's got a season high tonight. 9 catches, 110 yards. You know, Clifton Dixon came across and made contact.
Dead ball, offside with contact, 97 of the defense, 5 yards.
You know, Mike, it's interesting to note also with Hagans going to the bench with a hip injury. Elton Brown has not come back onto the field since that ball was tipped back to him. He became a ball carrier and he injured a leg. And there's a look at the big guy. Senior, 6'6", 338 pounds. Highly thought of by the pro scouts. For nothing doing. Michael Johnson going to be knocked down for a loss. And this defense by Florida State is kind of like sharks in the water, and they got a little blood.
And Mickey Andrews, Kevin Steele, the entire coaching staff have won the battle at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go.
Bobby Bowden was quoted earlier this week, said it's not coaches speak, it sounds like an oversimplification, but whoever wins this ball game is going to win the line of scrimmage, and he's being proved totally right here tonight. Sack number 4, Ernie Sims. doesn't have a lot of regard for his body. He just comes flying.
And he likes to make those kind of tackles. Third in tackles, third fastest guy on this football team with speed. You got all the speed on the team. A linebacker, the third fastest guy.
Kristen Olsen never saw him.
Never was blocked.
Third down, they need to take it all the way to the 32.5-yard line. Screen back into the boundary. Johnson has a blocker in front. Didn't help out very much, but the play will make it to the 44-yard line.
They're all over. Florida State's defense so quick. Ernie Sims, a great night.
Well, you can hear the respect for this defense, and a lot of fans for Ernie Sims. They really enjoy watching him play the game. So do his coaches, but not opposing coaches. Trying to kick this one into the corner, and he knocked it too far into the end zone. And there is a flag down. We have movement at the line of scrimmage.
Offside on Florida State. I believe they'll try to kick it again.
Travis Johnson. Well, he's the one that sent the text message to Profonso Thorpe and said, get it to, make sure you get it to the big defensive tackle, Travis Johnson. Said, I'm loading up my work pail. I'll bring it. You bring yours.
His favorite player was Deacon Jones.
That's right. You know what? I said you weren't even alive.
Yeah.
But he said he had watched video of him time and again, and that Deacon was his guy, and that's who he loves to pattern himself after. Dominic Robinson, the deep man, to receive this punt. And this one,
they got it.
Yeah,
they got it.
Got it in the field of play. It would appear just short of the end zone line. Brandon Isaiah is the guy who got it.
They're giving the touchback.
Must have broken the plane then. So let's take a timeout. 9:55 left in our ball game. And as you look at it, yep, broke the plane to the end zone. That's the reason for the touchback.
Someone ought to be arrested.
Well, you know what, though? If you're going to go out, that's the way to go out.
Leading the race.
Stomping everybody.
Yep. Well, he went out right at the 400-mile mark, and he led 300 miles.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very, very strong effort.
Yeah, it should be a 400-mile race, right? At 2:67, he'd have been.
All right, now 66. It'll be 65 to go. And this changes the picture of the whole thing.
Boy, does it ever, Bill.
Jimmy Johnson's car is just too tight. They're going to try and loosen it up. They also worked with the 88 in front of him, trying to get him to pull up a little bit so Johnson wouldn't lose time getting out of his pit. Around to the left side on the 48. Johnson trying for the sweep here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway in 2004. Marty.
These shows are just too fast and too wild for television. We can't even show it all to you in this commercial. Order Girls of Street Racers Uncensored and Street Racers' Biggest Busts, playing this month on Dish On Demand pay-per-view.
Ordering Dish On Demand pay-per-view is as easy as picking.
How about that? And Michael Waltrip looked like he's going to come off third.
And I'll tell you, Mark Martin's crew got him there. That was a great pit stop from those guys.
Man, was it there?
Ryan Newman losing a little ground on the pit stop. He came in as the leader after Kane crashed.
Kurt Busch goes out second. Michael Waltrip.
Michael, third spot.
Oh, man. And Newman just barely beats the 8.
And remember we talked about Matt Kenseth. There's your lucky dog back on the lead lap.
Trail-rated capability, only in a Jeep 4x4. And Bryant, When it comes to heating and cooling, Brian does whatever it takes.
You know, Mike, 29-3 is our score. When you look at what this defense has done tonight, 4 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, and 1 block punt. The Seminoles got it started and got it done on the defensive side, and then the offense has just plugged in their expertise as Booker takes that one forward. And a late, no, that's not a flag, it's a headgear. Now here comes the flag.
Lorenzo Booker, the combination of Booker and Washington was too much for Virginia. Now you got to credit the offensive line. Leon Washington open again, power runner, but the offensive line for Florida State did a fine job blocking the defense of Virginia.
Foul. Number 44 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Parham, number 44, called for it.
Yeah, he's
they caught him with that little slap.
I doubt that was worth it, but I have a feeling that Al Groh is going to make it really not worth it come this Monday. He just doesn't abide to stuff like that. He won't put up with it, and this ball club will go back and they'll rework. Booker inside the 40, finally stopped at the 39. Reese Davis, let's go back to you.
All right, Ron, Boise State, under 2 minutes to go, scored a touchdown to pull even with Tulsa. Broncos get the ball back. Nation's longest winning streak on the line and on the foot of Tyler Jones. 46 yards out for the lead, ultimately the win, and he is true. 17 and counting. Boise State's winning streak is alive.
Boy, a few groans at Skelly Stadium there as that kick went through. 1st and 10, Florida State Seminoles. New line of scrimmage, the 39. Clock is moving, about to go under 9 minutes left to play in this one. Look like Alex Barron, the senior left tackle.
False start, 7-0 the offense.
Ron, when you look at this, Washington had 15 carries. Did they take the short passes? Yes. Wyatt Sexton, good night. Forced the turnover and won that battle. Did they stop the run? A+. Right there, they stopped the run. I'd say.
Well, I think you're right. Some kind of grade there, teacher. This is Booker. Still on his feet, looking for a place to run. Stays on the field of play. Did not go out of bounds. Hamilton finally puts the stop. And let's update the rushing yardage in this one. Virginia now 14 and 149 for Florida State. Total yardage, the Seminoles now at 424. And total yardage for the Cavaliers, 245.
When you look at that, average in Virginia 275 yards rushing coming in here tonight. 14 yards. And they earned those 14.
Well, they did. Booker again, big opening on the left side. Has 5, has 10, and he's off and running inside the 20-yard line. Tony Franklin stopped him after a gain of 22.
All right, the Virginia defense tired now, and they've hit the draw with Leon Booker, or Lorenzo Booker, who everybody thought was going to Notre Dame. Surprised everybody, come to Florida State.
And Lorenzo was over 100, 118. And look at that average, 8.4 and a touchdown. And really a good 1-2 combination punch, because Leon Washington, the power runner, Booker, the slasher. And Washington still on his feet. Turns the corner, puts a head down with the move, and he goes inside the 5. That'll be enough for the first down. How about that effort? Boy, did Carter, he just turned him completely around. Watch this, Mike.
That's the kind of night it's been. You got him stopped. Yes, you got him. Now you don't.
And I'll tell you, if he doesn't get hit by Weeks from behind, he was going to take that into the end zone. So his night, 16 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. And Booker comes back into the lineup. The timeout called by Florida State, trying to stop that clock before they got a 5-yard delay penalty. 29-3. We'll be right back.
Later on SportsCenter, the surprises and disappointments from a huge day of college football. Was Vintage Rocket enough to fuel a crucial Game 3 win? And does a secret recording like Barry?
But there was a lot of smoke on the 12.
Now Dale Jr. racing Ryan Newman for 4th place.
Can't believe Robbie Gordon hasn't stopped and he hasn't blown out. He's still going.
Matt.
BP is spotter. Mike Dillon keeps telling Robbie it's really not that bad. It's starting to go away. Keep staying out there.
Okay.
That's what I said. Okay.
It's easy for a spotter to say. Lead. Kurt Busch to the outside of Mark Martin in turn 4.
Man, oh, man.
These guys want that championship, don't they?
Boy, they do.
What a rally. 5 bonus points for the championship for Kurt Busch. How about Mark Martin, Marty?
And remember, it takes a little while for Mark's car to come in. Kurt Busch asked.
Morning. Whenever you need help with your heating, wherever you need it, your Bryant dealer will get it to you.
Found your paper in the driveway.
Whatever it takes. Through November, take advantage of special deals worth up to $1,000 on a high-efficiency system from Bryant. Just call your local Bryant dealer and they'll get it to you, whatever it takes.
Do you live it on the ground? Do you live it on the ground? Do you live it on the ground? Or make your living in the air? Freestyle air. Make your living in the air.
What will you do in the air? NBA Live 2005 with Freestyle Air. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
So a 26-point lead with just under 7 minutes to play in our ball game. Going to take a look at the top 10 here in just a moment of what happened today. Who's going to move and who's going to move in which direction? Booker on the sweep, cuts it back up the middle. Touchdown, his 2nd of the night.
Tired defense.
Bayfield to attempt the extra point, trying to make it a 36-3 ball game. And he got it. Mike, let's take a look at the top 10. And my first observation is, when you look at Auburn, who had such a fantastic game today, and Florida State here tonight, and Florida State's got a little bit of room to move. Auburn's got no place they can go because of what happened in front of them.
Wisconsin's going to come up there. Purdue, I don't think they should drop out of the top 10. Utah struggling tonight. 7-7, the last score I saw. They have a great chance. California with a big win against UCLA. So I think Florida State maybe goes to 5. Wisconsin comes in there at 6 or 7.
I've just been told that Utah is now on top 10-7. Here's the schedule remaining for the Noles. At Wake Forest, and trust me, that will not be easy. Never is. At Maryland, then Duke here, then at NC State, and in Florida on the 20th of November.
All games they probably will be favored.
Brooks looking on from across the way, the outstanding linebacker. The Big E, Elton Brown, has not played since he was shaken up after receiving a pass. They've got some nicks, some bumps and bruises to go back home with. That's never fun, particularly when you get tagged with right now what is a 33-point loss should the game end within the next 60 seconds. Johnson impairment of backbeat. But I'll tell you, the great deterrent tonight to keeping him from having good returns. He has kicked virtually everything into the end zone, and they've not returned it. They will try on this one. Pearman. Ooh, he gets tagged at the 15-yard line. So let's do a report card on Virginia, Mike Gottfried.
Ron couldn't run, so that's the first thing. Couldn't run here. Did they survive early? A block punt. They got off to a bad start here. Florida State, long TDs. They had some long passes. Didn't stop Leon and didn't stop Booker. All four of them.
Well, we understand that Chris Ricks is loosening up on the sidelines. There he is. So we expect him to come in the ball game. And I guess we could go ahead fairly shortly here and draw a line on Sexton in his evening. It has been outstanding, I can tell you that. Johnson dancing around, and he'll take it for what he can. Johnson's not really big enough to run tackle to tackle, not real often anyway. So let's close the book on several players. Lorenzo Booker, 123 yards, an average of over 8 per try, 2 touchdowns.
Career highs. 2 good backs. Difference.
But they really complement each other, man.
Yeah, they really do.
Olsen short with that pass to McGrew, incomplete. Tonight's key stat is brought to you by Burger King, having their way.
19 yards rushing allowed. I guess that's having your way.
Boy.
Wow. Averaging 275, get 19.
Florida State was favored in this ball game because it was here in Tallahassee, but only by a field goal. And not many people thought that they would win this convincingly, as Michael Johnson is tackled immediately after the catch at the 20-yard line. But Mike, those people that are left on the schedule that we just read off there just a moment ago, there's got to be a furrow in their brow thinking about, wow, why now? You know, we still haven't played them.
BCS, Bo still in reach.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. If they continue to play this way, I mean, they're absolutely as good as anybody around. Dominic Robinson on the receiving end here. Nothing to the right. Tries the left. And Virginia will have none of it. Good job of coverage. Pushes him out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Let's go away for a moment. 5:08 left. 36-3 Noles.
Good to go to the finish, Allen. The problem that he has, the car just pushes too much when it gets behind somebody. He picks up an aero-tight condition. When he gets clean air, the car is pretty good.
Yeah, it looked like he was having a hard time staying on the bottom of the racetrack, Matt. So now he's in a little bit of clean air, but it's hard to pass cars when you're aero-tight.
Got a little piece of a side skirt dragging or something on the right side of that car.
Yeah.
Right in front of the right rear tire. If that's affected his handling any. See it there just flapping? That may even just be a piece of tape or something. But I stand by my statement earlier. This is going to be a great night for Kurt if he can get a top 5 finish out of this.
I'll tell you, Bill.
Yeah, just about Mac and his car, which is really starting to come back a little bit. We're actually talking to Robbie Reiser right now about their fuel mileage and whether or not they can make it.
6 pieces of extra crispy chicken and 6 honey barbecue wings. Plus a free half-gallon Pepsi Mega Jug, all for just $9.99.
Still have time?
Yeah.
Only in
Capital USA.
Tuesday, the hunt is on. Van Helsing. Own the DVD Tuesday.
Number 16, Chris Ricks, trots onto the field, 6'4", 210 senior out of Hampton, Virginia. And the coaches wanting to, dust off some of the cobwebs, plus the fact being from the state of Virginia, I would imagine that has some bearing as you look at Wyatt Saxton on the sideline.
I'm sure he's going to hand off.
And new running back, that's Jamal Edwards, who was a freshman out of Greensboro, North Carolina. He has gotten some mop-up duty in the earlier games. Parham put a stop on him.
Chris Ricks has won a lot of games here at FSU. Now, again, he's got an ankle sprain. Wyatt Saxton is clearly the starter. Chris Ricks is his second quarterback.
Now Edwards comes to the sideline, and Lamar Lewis, who also is a freshman, he's out of Jacksonville. Number 30 comes in, and they give the ball to him. And he is greeted rather rudely, hit behind the line of scrimmage by Chris Johnson. Clock will run, and that is the object right here. They just want to run that clock down and head to the locker room with no more injuries. 20 of 26 on Sexton, 275 yards and a touchdown. And of course, the 275 is a career high. No wonder he's smiling.
Yeah,
so
why they're so tough to defend, though, because they got the running game with Washington and Booker. Wyatt Sexton now is on as a quarterback, and the wide receivers are open all night.
Ricks pass right over the middle, complete to Root, his tight end, short of the first down. Bettison made the tackle. He is in replacing Ahmad Brooks. Boy, how tough a situation, though, Mike, when you've been the starting quarterback and all of a sudden you get an injury and a youngster comes in and not only replaces you but plays extremely well. And you put the coaches in a position where it's not a popularity thing. It doesn't mean they don't like you, but when someone else comes in and they produce so much better as Sexton has done, that's the move that Florida State obviously has to take.
Now you got to be a team guy, Chris Ricks, and you got to help Wyatt Sexton. You got to help the rest of the team. You got to be ready to play. We're going to punt the football.
So they didn't pick it up, and they will punt it right back to the Cavaliers. Clock is at 3.5 minutes and running. Pearman, the deep man, and a single safety for UVA. Was a good driving spiral. Pearman's going to return it, finds a small opening, and then goes down just shy of the 30-yard line. Up next at SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt and Linda Cohn. Who's Still Perfect? Secret Tape and night racing at Darlington. Next on SportsCenter.
Cavaliers got to get ready for next week. Still have a very tough schedule left.
Yeah, we'll get that schedule up after this play right here, Mike, to show exactly what you're talking about. Olsen hands it off to Michael Johnson, and he gets cracked down at the line of scrimmage. Here's the remainder of that schedule. At Duke, then they're at home against Maryland, at home against Miami, then at Georgia Tech, at Virginia Tech to end the season.
Miami, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech.
Hey, those last two Techs are playing really well right now.
In Maryland.
Yeah.
And not a slouch.
Marcus Hagans standing with his teammates, hoping that this thing will kind of fast forward and they can get to the plane and head back home. Long night As Johnson is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Erin Andrews, let's get one more check with you down on the sideline.
Well, Ron, every season head coach Bobby Bowden gives his team a motto to live by. This year's was, it's time. He said he knows Florida State isn't getting all the respect that they used to. They haven't been in the national championship hunt. It's time to get their act together. Looks like they got the message loud and clear tonight, Ron.
I don't think there's any question, and that's a good point, Erin. What happens when a ball club turns the corner like this? And all of a sudden you work and you hit on all cylinders. Man, it's fun to go to practice. Do you really look forward to that next opponent? And they hit on all cylinders tonight. I don't think there's any doubt. A pass completed. He's going to have the first down. Santee, the tight end, made the pickup on the catch. Bobby Bowden's got to be very, very pleased. But last week, he said he was as mad at this football team as he has ever been mad at a team since he's been here coaching. And then typically being right up front with his feelings, he said, you know, then I got home and dadgummit, I saw how many other people got beat. I wasn't as mad at my guys.
No.
Dadgummit, I saw how many other people had lost. About to go under 1 minute to play. Here's Johnson again. Cuts it to the outside. And he'll run out of bounds. That'll stop the clock at 1:07. Mike, where do you start when you go back to regroup? I mean, it's not just the running game, and that was the beginning of the end offensively tonight. But I mean, all of a sudden it just started to fail in all facets of the ball game.
Still, they're 5-0. Now they're 5-1. Still a good football team. Ran into a buzzsaw tonight.
Yeah.
A better team.
Wrong place,
on this
wrong
night.
time. Yeah, that's right. That's Santee in motion.
Talk about
almost intercepted, and that would have been a sure 6 for Leroy Smith. Take one more look at it, and Leroy,
he had it.
He's going to catch grief from his teammates a little bit anyway. I have a feeling that Coach Bowden is probably just as happy that he didn't catch it, because he's not here to rub it in and outgrow. Too much respect between the two for each other.
Well, you talk about the problems for Virginia and outgrow. It's the injuries that you have to worry about.
And to key people, I mean, you can't have Elton Brown sitting on the sideline. Boy, that play just kind of destroyed before it got started. I'm surprised they didn't stop it. There were people moving all over the place. There goes Big E. Elton Brown heading to the locker room. You can see limping just a bit. That is a huge human being at 6'6", 338 pounds. Sports Center coming up next. One of the comment on Elton is of all the guards that are coming out this year, that the pro scouts say that probably he will be the only guard who will be taken in the first round. They think that much of him.
Mel Kiper's got him rated high.
And for Mr. Hagans, you know, what do you do besides the injury between his ears? Because he is a good football player and a really good kid.
His stats weren't bad. He was running for his life.
He was all night. And I guarantee you, you made a believer out of him tonight when you start talking about. Al Groh said, in fact, on the phone call the other day, Mike, what he told you, he said team speed is the thing that is so glaring for as far as Virginia is concerned, and also Miami and Florida State.
He's closed it.
Yes.
He's closed the gap. But you saw great speed on defense by Florida State.
Illegal participation, 12 people on the defense. We have a personal foul for unnecessary roughness on the defense.
They could have called 12 men on defense all night.
Oh. Okay, let's wind that clock, get it started, and head home. I mean, Virginia, they're ready for it to end. The guys in garnet and gold are ready for it to end.
Florida State, I keep thinking about the players when they said, all of them said, hey, we got to gain that respect back.
Yeah, I mean, they talked about
a big point.
All the predictions that they heard on Thursday night, and they were angered by that. Well, this pass is complete at the 25-yard line.
Olsen, he's the one guy that wants to keep this game going. He'd like to get a touchdown. Pretty good performance by the backup quarterback.
Jonathan Stupper's the man who made the catch. He's a reserve tight end. Both universities getting in a lot of people here, some of whom I'm not sure we got all the numbers. Little counter play. And no place to hide from that defense. That could be the final play of the ball game as Jerome Carter comes in to corral him. So with the ball game tonight, Florida State 3-1. Virginia goes to 2-1. Al Groh comes across the field to shake hands with Bobby Bowden as the clock goes to double zeros. And our final score, Florida State 36 and Virginia 3. Coming up next on ESPN at SportsCenter and over on ESPN News, it's post-game extra and a press conference. For more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet. And now from Mike Gottfried, Aaron Andrews, and our entire crew, I'm Ron Franklin. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.